and they go to VCs, and you're basically bending over backwards for a VC being like, I need to raise 2 million, 5 million, whatever, when you still have an idea. Where, like, why do that as opposed to like launch a token, see if people actually like it, see if the community supports it, see if you can generate money from creator fees, prove that your product is something that is worth a VC funding, and then you can fund it. And that's the exact path that I did with Pumpcade. And I hope that what Pump is doing with this build in public and like builder tokens, I hope that does catch on, because I think it'll save a lot of people a lot of headaches. And I also think it'll ultimately save a lot of VCs from writing checks into bad companies, because they're writing checks into these pre-product companies, pre-idea companies. Whereas let people build, get like a generic idea of what they want to build, see if the community supports it, and then take it from there.
So in your opinion, like that's very interesting of a path, because I think your path is like the first, you're kind of trailblazing, if you will. But what happens to the token like after you raise? So you begin by kind of putting your idea out there. You let the market decide like how good your idea is. You earn from some creator fees. You earn from you raise from VCs. But now what? Like what happens to the token eventually? Does it fall off? Does it get integrated into the product? Like how are like long-term investors thinking about
So
the
definitely, you can't let the token fall off. And like, to speak to that point, like I was trying to fundraise for the last couple months before the Pump Fund hackathon, and I had half of a round committed for like 4 months. And like the biggest thing is like 90% of VCs told me drop the token, just don't associate with the token, drop a new token like in the future. And I was never going to do that, because for Pumpcade, the token is the most important thing. Like the token is how I connected with Pump Fund, Privy, Solana Foundation, all of these people. So you do have to keep the token like as a core part of your product. And you'll see in the next couple of weeks we have some announcements coming of like how Pumpcade, like the token, is very important to the project in terms of utility and other things. But it like I don't like want to like confuse people and have people think that you just use the token in the beginning to like make money and then raise from VCs and then like screw the token holders, because ultimately like these token holders, these early people that buy your token, are going to be the ones that like send you to the places like where you're able to go, like, which in my case was like I was able to quit my job, I was able to connect with all these people, I was able to raise VC capital, and that's something that I was able to do with a live token. And I think for me, the Pumpcade raise is most impressive because I raised venture capital with a live token. And that I think is something that we're going to continue to see more. And I hope that Pumpcade can be an example for others that want to do that.
So what's so difficult about, just so that the audience has proper context on this, what's so difficult about raising with a live token?
Yeah. So, I mean, first and foremost, VCs want the TGE. They want the token from the beginning. The other biggest thing, really, and like I've spoken to other people about this, like we'll just use the case of like a lot of these Pump Fund hackathon projects, for example. There are some amazing hackathon projects, really cool tech, really cool ideas, but their token is only 50K market cap. How can you go to a VC and be like, hey, I want you to invest at a 10 million equity valuation, and oh, by the way, my token is 50K market cap? Like, what incentive does a VC have to invest at a 10 mil equity valuation, especially with a token that's that low? If they really want exposure, they can get a lot more exposure by just putting, a lot more money into the token, which is really cheap, and they'll have a lot more ownership of the token. So it's really like a mix of like a traditional equity investor probably doesn't want to go near the token. You could have maybe some liquid funds that want to invest in your token, but then think about it: if your token is 50K market cap, if you want to raise, $1 million or $2 million pre-seed, it's not possible when your token is that low. You could give away 50% of your token and only get $25,000, which, like, where is that going to take you trying to build a company?
Right. So I guess what's the solution? I'm a project. I want to raise. I have a great product. Maybe I'm lacking community. Maybe I'm lacking on the token traction side. So it hasn't gone to 500K, a million, 5 million, or whatever the market cap is to justify such a valuation for an investment from a VC. How does a founder fix that?
I mean, I really think that it's a lot on the founder itself. And I know like it sounds like, oh, like this was really easy and stuff for me to do, but you have to make sure that people realize that the token is still core to your business. You obviously don't want the token to be the product. Like a lot of companies make a mistake and it's like the token is a product, the market cap is a product. But you just have to continuously build and get people to believe in what you're building. And if you're really selling people on what your product is, they're going to want to hold the token if you're clear that the token is really part of what you're building. So you have to just build transparently, build, more importantly, a product that people like. And if you're getting traction on the idea and people like it, there's no reason for someone to not want to buy the token, to be a part of it, to essentially hold like ownership in that way.
Got it. And so I guess my question would be, what would be that utility? Does it depend on like what you're building? Like, because we've seen cases where you try to add some sort of token gated utility feature that just kind of adds more friction. What would be that key utility for a company to say, hey, like I'm not giving up on the token, and this is the utility that kind of ties it all together, kind of brings the community into what you're building.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's company dependent, it's protocol dependent, it's based on what
Right.
you're building. I really can't speak on behalf of Pumpcade yet, just because we're not ready to make that announcement yet. And I do
Mhm.
think that a lot of people try and like they try and jump to finding a utility for the token way too quick just to please like essentially people that don't really care and they just want to see number go up. I think it's really important to derive a actual strong utility other than like, oh, you have to hold a token in order to do this, or you have to hold the token in order to do this. You really need a utility, and you want to make people kind of think like, how, if this company succeeds, does the token benefit from this? And that's the key part, that it's worth spending a ton of time in and not like making rash, quick announcements before you're ready. Because the biggest thing about building with a live token is you can't be discouraged from short-term price movements. Like there were times when Pumpcade went to an all-time high. It went to like 15 mil, and then the entire market crapped itself. Token went down to like 1.5 or something mil market cap. My DMs were flooded with people, and they're like, "Can you tweet something to fix it? Can you tweet something to fix it?" But you have to realize that like this isn't a meme coin. Like you're building a product, and this is the token for your product. So as a builder, you have to have the long-term mindset. You can't get discouraged from just like short-term price movements, and that I think is a really important thing, because I think in cases like that, if the token isn't performing or there's a sharp dip, I think a lot of founders are really eager to try and just do like a quick corrective action in order to like satisfy people short-term. But you have to have that long-term mindset.
So I do want to jump off token so we can get to some other stuff as well. But I got one last question on it. You just did an equity round, raised $1 million at some valuation, sold equity. I'm not sure how much. But with that being said, how are you thinking about the token in terms of equity compared to like a network effect token? And I'll give you an example here. We see like Bedrock, for example, Meteor's newest product. Being able to add 30% equity on chain, or something like a Soar or Straight, who's doing their own kind of iterations around equity on chain. And like, it's not always black and white. Sometimes tokens are much better having a network effect token, like we see a lot of these layer ones having. How are you thinking about that? Is a token and the equity kind of going to be adjacent to each other, one and the same? Or is it more so, okay, we're going to find a way to have a network effect surrounding this token?
Yeah. So, I mean, as much as I would love to give an answer, I can't comment on that right now. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Okay. Valid. Well, what I will ask then is you made 2 hires recently. Okay. So you guys did get the funding, $1 million oversubscribed. So actually I'll jump to that. Let's talk about that before we get into the hires. You raised $1 million oversubscribed. How was that process? You said Pump kind of helped you with that.
It was, I've raised venture capital in the past, and what I can say is this Pumpcade pre-seed round was the easiest round I've ever raised. Like within 2 days, we had the round multiple times oversubscribed. Obviously, an oversubscribed pre-seed round, you can kind of draw your conclusions of what's coming next off of that. But yeah, I mean, it was really easy just knowing that like, Pump supporting your project is very, very big. And I think if you're a builder right now, like a solo dev or something like that, you should try and explore kind of the path that I took with Pumpcade, because it's pretty beneficial to have one of the most successful companies in the history of our industry kind of like backing you and going to bat for you. And that really obviously helps raising this round.
Yeah, no, absolutely a great answer. So you got $1 million, way oversubscribed. You probably go to, from pre-seed to seed pretty soon, considering your oversubscribed nature. Talk to me about what you're going to do with those funds. You got $1 million now. Oh, and I keep doing this, but before, give me the pitch, right? Clearly these people really liked your pitch. These VCs saw it, and they're like, okay, we can subscribe to this. If you could make that a 1 minute, 2 minute pitch for everyone, what did that look like when you came into these rooms with these VCs and these funds, trying to get that money?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of this pitch is really like, fortunately, obviously, because I built in public, a lot of VCs reached out to me and they already knew what the product was, but it wasn't really that hard to sell to people because, it kind of makes sense. Like prediction markets have proven the demand for wanting to speculate on things, but look how much more capital moves on chain every single day from these short-term traders. What we wanted to do is blend prediction markets and the trenches into a new financial like instrument to whatever to trade on. And one of the biggest things too is like we have proof. We have multiple cases of ambiguous markets just being a catastrophe on like Polymarket and Call Sheet. Like we saw, did Zelensky wear the suit? Did Cardi B perform at the Super Bowl? Right. Ayatollah leaving office? All of those problems are kind of solved by Pumpcade, because Pumpcade wouldn't have those problems in the first place, because we're only going to allow you to create a market that can automatically be resolved. And it's kind of a lot more core to like the crypto ethos, where it's like, you don't need a committee to resolve these markets. If you're using the proper data source, the market should resolve automatically. Instantly if you won or lost, and then you can take your money to the next market. So that was like most of the core like pitching of Pumpcade is really like, what I'm doing here is I'm trenchifying the prediction markets, and that's what Pumpcade is.
Yeah, you mentioned making everything resolve on chain and kind of the importance of this, and also the hold times we're seeing go down, just the appetite, I think, for people to want these quick resolution options. And that's, I think what you predicated your thesis around Pumpcade around. How are you thinking about Solana blockchain being the blockchain to resolve Pumpcade? Why is like that the route you guys decided to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So for the last 7 years of my career, I was a builder on Ethereum and EVM chains, but the dev tooling, honestly, and the developer experience on Solana has gotten substantially better. I have historically like tweeted in the past, like pretty critical of Solana for how poor the developer experience is. And it's definitely night and day now. And the speed of Solana, and most importantly, like for a product like Pumpcade, because like sort of the users that we're interested in, at least early on, is pretty much like a one-to-one overlap with a pump fund user. It's these people that, they're degens, they love to like quote unquote gamble, they need some new kind of casino. Like all of that capital is on Solana. And we can see that based off of like, there really has never been another chain to long-term do well in meme coins, or as well as Solana. Like BNB might occasionally pop off. You'll have like a week on base where it's really hot, but all of that liquidity and like all of the target users for Pumpcade are on Solana.
No, I think that's a fantastic answer. Okay, you got $1 million. You hire 2 new people. Tell me a little bit about those hires.
Yeah, so I knew from the start, like I could not continue to build this solo the entire time. I spent 6 months splitting my time between, fundraising, meetings, partnerships, and development. I'm married. I have a 7-month-old baby. I cannot run myself to the bone. So I knew as soon as I could get capital, the first hires that I need to make are engineering because I need to scale this. I need people that have proven experience building apps. So my first two hires are Steve. His Twitter is Stioni. He was my co-founder at a previous company. We were coworkers in the past. I have experience working 18 hours a day with this dude for like 18 months. Like we really grinded at a startup. The other one is Narzilla. He was a coworker with us as well at Limit Break. I've known this guy for years. Worked in very early DeFi days, ran a bunch of stuff at Badger DAO, which had like $2 billion TVL. Really, these two guys, I just needed hyper technical guys that I knew that I could trust and I knew that would like be down to like go from 0 to 1 because I still consider Pumpkade at 0. I shipped a minimum viable product, a beta, and we really needed to take this to the next level and go to mainnet and scaling and beyond. And I knew like immediately that these were the two guys I had to hire. Didn't even have to do an interview process because I've worked with them in the past. And yeah, I'm very happy with the decisions.
You said engineers. You need to engineer. You need to iterate, ship. Maybe talk me through the platform. Right now it's under construction, right? So I can't really see too much, but tell me about the experience, the UI, the feel that Pumpkade gives when you log into the platform and trade these prediction markets.
Yeah, so I've tweeted like a bunch of like photos and videos and stuff of what the platform looks like. The reason why it's under construction right now is we just started working with a design studio and we're doing like a ground up 100% redesign of the platform with the goal really being the most fun place to make or lose money on the internet. And it's kind of an entire new thing. It's a prediction market blended with like a token terminal, like meme coin trading platform. But yeah, I mean, the engineers are super important. I'm not just hiring engineers, of course. I'm bringing on people for marketing, growth, all of that stuff. But being an engineer myself, to me, the most important thing is getting the product first, because it's not worth spending time trying to sell a product to people that's trash. So that's why we're full engineering focused right now, at least heads down until we're ready to have a product that's ready to go to mainnet. And then yeah, I mean, you're going to see rapid hiring from the Pumpkade team.
Question on that go to market. We know prediction market's been very, very hot. It's like that Kelshi poly market head to head. I want to ask you, what does your competition look like necessarily on like on-chain settlement, on-chain prediction markets? And then kind of what's your go to market for this? How do you edge out that competition and kind of put yourself up there with the Kelshis, with the poly markets?
So unfortunately, the go to market I cannot speak to. A lot of things I can't talk about. But in terms of competitors, I mean, like people might say, oh, you're a prediction market, your competitor is Polymarket, your competitor is Kalshi. I don't see them as competitors. I see us as building something entirely new, fresh, and different. And it's for a different type of trader. We're building for people that want to trade quick, people that want to trade fast. Polymarket is sort of these longer edge markets and stuff like that. So I don't really see Pumpkade having any strong competitors, at least right now, that I'm nervous about. I really think that like we're just going to build, we're going to ship what we're building. And I think that new competitors are going to pop up to chase Pumpkade really fast.
Got you. Talk to me about roadmap, and chill. Feel free to jump in wherever you guys want, or Josh as well. You can come up. But talk to me about roadmap. What are you guys working on? Obviously, I have this tweet up. It says this week we've worked on UX improvement, a brand new highly scalable backend, protocol changes. Can you walk me through anything on this roadmap that you guys are like really working on heads down?
Yeah, so the UX improvements, I think, is just surfacing a lot more important data to the users. Also in that UX improvements is obviously a full, like, actual ground up rebuild, reimagination of what the platform looks like. In terms of the backend, obviously I wrote this all myself. Like, this wasn't intended to be out there for 100,000 concurrent active users to use. So the backend is being fully rewritten by Stioni. Basically, we're taking a lot of what we've learned at some of these other companies that we've worked at, that have built highly scalable infrastructure, and we're doing that with Pumpkade because we want to go out of the gate supporting any number of users. The worst thing that can happen is your platform launches, it's crashing on day one, and it's hard to get those users back. And then lastly, Narzilla right now is actually writing a full rewrite of the Pumpkade protocol. There's a lot of really, really cool features in here that I'll be able to tweet about soon when we kind of like nail it down, like the security side and the audits and stuff. But I think that I can truly say that Pumpkade's prediction market protocol is going to smoke anything else that's out there. Like it's just going to be so efficient, so high, so tuned specifically for what we're doing with some other interesting things that I think people aren't going to respect.
Back to the $1 million raised. Do you guys have like a run rate on that? How long is it supposed to last? How long did you raise for? 18 months in the future? Seems like you have another round kind of pre-planned already. But I don't know. What's your run rate and like the duration here on that $1 million?
Yeah, so I mean, without getting into too specifics, it's over a year of runway with that money. There are other factors and stuff at play, but I mean, you'll see. I mean, you can probably guess like what I'm hinting at. But the round was very oversubscribed.
Okay, makes a ton of sense. Can you talk me through a bit about like traction on the platform? Maybe volumes, traction. I know you can't really get to go to market and like growth strategies here, but maybe currently what you have in terms of numbers.
So Pumpkade was in private beta for like 2.5, 3 months, gated behind an access code essentially. every once in a while, I'd tweet out an access code. It would get fully used up like immediately. We have about 600 users that have used the private beta. We have a little over 1,000 markets and like 4,000 predictions. Obviously, this is all on testnet, which is cool to me to see. Like every time I would go on the beta, I would see like recent activity and stuff, which is cool because it's not incentivized. It's not real money. It's people that actually just like the product and find it interesting and want to play with it and maybe get an edge like over others when it comes out. But the traction has been super strong for a testnet product. Obviously, like I'm not going to come on here and like flex testnet numbers. We've seen chains do that and it's embarrassing. But I mean, the traction is good because people like using the product and they know that they're using it to explore it and have fun with it. They're not being rewarded, which that is when a testnet user is important to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The flexing about testnet numbers is crazy, but it does sound like the traction is really good for you guys. So I'm glad to hear that. Josh had a question here in private. He asks, what does the trading experience feel like? So I guess when you envision this and you talk about the UX you're looking to really nail down, what is that experience you really are targeting for the audience?
I mean, I think to me, it has to be a much more fun way to trade prediction markets because on a lot of these markets, you go on like long-term markets, there's not much movement. Like the odds aren't rapidly changing often, like when you're looking at the page. Whereas on Pumpcade, these markets could be as short as 60 seconds long. So there's going to be a lot of activity. There's going to be a lot of movement and swings and like probability and stuff like that. And I think that we're trying to make that core to the UX and just giving people a really easy and intuitive way to trade. Obviously, there's going to be no pop-ups. It's all like privy gas sponsor transactions and stuff. And we're really just setting you up to place predictions as quickly as possible because we know that these markets move super quick.
Got you. I feel like I've covered a lot in terms of what I'm looking to get through, but there's been so much in these last couple of weeks. So maybe anything you have to.
I do have some questions around just tokenomics. If you have anything planned, obviously popular ones are like Hyperliquid, where they use a percentage of the fees or something like that with buybacks. Just thoughts on tokenomics.
Yeah, I mean, so I can't really speak on specifics. Like I said, like there will be stuff that comes out. It's just not ready to come out yet. But I mean, traditionally for a product like that's early, like Pumpcade, I think that doing buybacks are really just throwing away money because you're not going to generate enough revenue to outpace sell pressure. Early on, I had thoughts like, yeah, it'd be nice to have fees automatically go into buying and burning the token, but you're really just throwing away money unless you're a huge, like if you can afford to put 7 figures a day into buybacks like Pump and Hyperliquid can, yeah, by all means do that. I think it's good, but we're still even seeing like a bad market downturn can't outpace the sell pressure of the market on those tokens. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be stuff that comes out about the token, being really careful with legal and also making sure like what we say is a good plan and what we're actually going to do. Because the last thing I want to do is say something that's not really a good plan, have people hold me to it, and just have people get pissed about that.
Great answer. Maybe
who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why?
22 million in 3 fucking hours! There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
He would neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's right.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. mom. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
I wanna heal, I wanna feel what I thought was never real. I wanna let go of the pain I felt so long. Erase all the pain till it's gone. I wanna heal, I wanna feel like I'm close to something real. I wanna find something I wanted all along. Somewhere I belong.
All right. Good morning, everyone. MCG is back. I should say good afternoon because it is noon. We have a sick day here. We're going to be talking about collectibles, cards, the markets around trading cards. Those markets have been hot, and excited to dig into that as well. My guy Dom, how you doing?
What's up, man? Popped on, just dropped on the stream here. What's up, guys?
Just dropped on the stream. Dom's in the studio. But yeah, man, really good chat. Do you have any trading cards? Do you trade any trading cards these days?
I don't, dude. I don't do trading cards. You know, I do have a bunch. I could go and dig some out. A bunch of like old baseball ones, passed down from like my uncle and stuff. But no, I never was a collector. I guess as a kid, maybe a little bit, but no Pokemon. No, not really. What about you?
No, my son has some Pokemon cards that he's somehow finessed off people, but you know, my collection, who knows where it is. But really it's only you know, kind of the top percentile cards I think that are worth anything. But yeah, all
But
good.
yeah, dude, they're outperforming us, that's for sure. I have some metrics I could even pull up, or we got a little bit of time. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
we got a
do.
bit of time. Can we could go for it if you want to do trading cards, we can, or if you want to save that leading into that segment.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what I got here. Yeah, it just seems. I mean, it seems like this market is just growing a lot. So maybe we'll save this for the trading card segment. Everyone's got their links and stuff, or should I be sending this out?
No, I'll send it out. I can send it out.
Sweet. Yeah, then I'll say that. I'll just go through some stuff, man, because there's
Go
some
for
stuff
it.
I like to save on the Twitter feed, and you know, let's talk about it. So let me pop up the screen here. Boom. Let's do this. I saw this a little while ago, and we just got to cover it, dude, because love the guy or hate the guy, no matter what you got to say about him, this guy is an absolute beast when it comes to investing. I mean, just look at the checks Sam Bankman-Fried was writing. Like I said, I mean, put your beliefs to the side. Let's just talk about this for a second.
6,000% on size.
On size, Anthropic, $500 million check to 30.4 billion, 5,980%. I also saw something on Ashton Kutcher. This guy Ashton Kutcher made like 90 million in his whole acting career. He puts like 30 million into OpenAI or something, turns into 1.5 billion or something. It's just like it's
Really,
it's
Ashton Kutcher has it like that, eh?
Oh, dude, Ashton
Damn.
Kutcher is like big time right now, big time in terms of like
Yeah.
venture and stuff. It's wild. For a while, I was like, you know, I was hearing the name Ashton Kutcher. He's doing this. He's doing this. Ashton Kutcher is in these rooms. You know, he made these investments. I'm thinking this guy just happens to be named Ashton Kutcher, and this actor Ashton Kutcher is completely different, but it's the same dude. He just pivoted.
You know, another one is Ryan Reynolds. He has like he's invested in this Wrexham AFC football team, and they were like Division 5, and they are now like almost in the Premier League. And I think he put like a few $1 million into it, and now that football club's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, which is pretty crazy. So wow, okay. So anyways, yeah, I mean, Anthropic, banger, Robinhood, banger, Solana, banger.
I mean, this
Yeah.
guy, he's completely gone like the lobbying route. He's lobbying from jail to get out of jail to like
Yeah.
Donald Trump talking.
But you think he's gonna get out?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I
okay,
don't,
yeah.
bro. Because it's like all the people that have gotten out from crypto related crimes are like they're out, bro. Like we got Ross Ulbricht out a minute ago. We
Yeah.
got CZ out a minute ago, right? It's just like these crypto crimes or these financial crimes, these guys have been freed, right? They've been freed. Sam Bankman-Fried, ironically, is not freed.
He's not.
He's Sam Bankman locked up.
Yeah, some people don't like him, obviously. But it's funny. If
Wonder
he
why.
did nothing illegal, he'd be worth 40 billion. Honestly, if he didn't get caught, he would be worth 40 billion. So not
this
even
is the type of
illegal.
guy-
Like he
this is
just
the
had to
type
keep
of-
it going.
I mean, yeah, self-sabotage, dude. He's the type of guy that thrives in chaos. I'm not sure if you've when some people wrote books about this, and I got into the SBF thing like pretty deep a while back, and it's just crazy the way that everything Sam Bankman-Fried touched, how it operated. It was like complete chaos. They were missing hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. They didn't know where certain money was because people were just so careless. Weirdest setup. Nonetheless, let's just look. Anthropic signs a $500 million check, turns it into $30.5 billion, 6,000% on massive size in Anthropic. Visionary. Robinhood, he signs $500,000 check again, $5 billion. Solana, 60 million sold at $8. Okay, possibly making the bottom for Solana here. And that turned into 5.3 billion. So, I mean, this guy's a beast. Yeah, look, if he did nothing wrong, he'd be worth 40 billion today. It's just pretty wild, dude. It's pretty wild. Love him or hate him, the guy's a beast. If we want to talk venture success, also, we got to look at this. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Sequoia Capital released this in honor of the 50 years of Apple. We're sharing for the first time ever Don Valentine's original 1977 memo from Sequoia's investment into Apple. Now, I love Sequoia. Sequoia's missed the boat a little bit on AI, okay? But incredible team. If you read this letter, you'll see this, but Mark Andreessen tweeted this. 600K buy, 10%. So Sequoia bought 10% of Apple in 1977 for $600,000.
Jesus.
And their message was 600K buys 10%. Very rich deal. Management questionable.
Oh my gosh.
Man, that's hilarious. That's so legendary. I was reading through. It's a little tough to read and see, but leading company in a hot biz, 600K buys 10%. Very rich deal. Management questionable. Management questionable for this evaluation. That's hilarious. I mean, that would have put it at a $6 million valuation.
Yeah.
Proposed finance structure, 60K, blah, blah. Nonetheless, just hilarious to see, man. 600K bought 10% of Apple back in 1977, with the memo being that this was a questionable management team.
Yeah, back then, I mean, you had a handful of investors in the Valley. I've actually read the book on Steve Jobs where he talks about some of these early days. It's pretty impressive. Bunch of guys in a condo, not even like a suburban home, sweating, stinky, like yucky developer kind of thing. And getting some of these deals done.
Crazy. Nonetheless, it's yielded them very, very well. Something I wanted to talk with you about, Josh, okay? And this is what I've been seeing actually is apparently the United States has incredibly strong oil reserves. And Income Shark said not only is there an oil shortage, not only is there not an oil shortage, we are on the path to have the largest global surplus in record history. I don't know. What are your thinkings on this? We saw Centrini Researcher 3 just went to the Strait of Hormuz not too long ago, did some field research, almost got killed. It was a crazy story. If you guys haven't heard about that, Centrini's got an article. It's paywalled. You can go read it. But it's absolutely wild. Basically, the news is right now that boats are passing through, but like as this war strings out, people just assume that they'll start paying the tariffs to Iran and we'll kind of go back to normal. It's just a painful, long, drawn out war. Nothing we want to see. What are your thoughts about this right here? Firstly, the image you see on the screen being the oil surplus that it seems like we're possibly going into, and then like how that is going to affect the economy.
I mean, I don't know. You're starting to see the fuel shortages, Australia, Philippines, parts of Asia, Africa. The prices are spiking. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like the fear is there and it's setting in and the prices are made in the market. And, CL is 115. So I don't know. You can claim you have all the oil in the world, but until it's on the market, and it affects supply and demand, doesn't matter.
I mean, look at the crude chart, bro.
Yeah.
This is like so hideous. And we talked about this back here. We got this massive spike. We got this cool off down here to like 77, massive volatile candle. And we had discussed when we were down here is like, okay, well, we got this dip. We had the cause and effect, and there was nothing that actually changed meaningfully from it. So this is probably a really good opportunity to continue long on oil. And like, once we got the shakeout, this is probably the last test we had to these lower ranges. If nothing changes, we just go much higher, much faster. And we sure
the
did.
bad thing here is interest rates. Like interest rates are going up like crazy right now. I don't know if you have a 5-year, if you can pull up a 5-year yield. Like oil, forget the oil trade for a minute. It's inflation and interest rates. You know, so this bond yield, so this is what the US 5 at 3.99. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Monthly. So go daily. You're on a monthly candle.
Oh, I am.
Go daily. So there's the bottom in March. Like rates were going down, and then now it's complete reversal. And of course, this is driven by if the CPI ticks up, they may have to raise rates, which then interest rates kind of sniff this out, and the cost of money goes up. And when the cost of money goes up, starting a business, your credit card, consumer auto loans, everything is priced off this. It really impacts the consumer at the end of the day. Not to mention the fuel prices on groceries and stuff like that. It's just, it all feeds into the CPI. None of this is good. This is all really bad.
No. On top of this, I'll even add, like, and now you're starting to get surcharges. Like Amazon, I even saw recently added a surcharge to some of their stuff. So like the higher oil goes, the more it's going to come out on consumers and the economy. So
yeah, I don't know what the fear is now. Like go to the NASDAQ. Let's go look at major indexes. Like the fear is probably starting to settle in here. You know, like if we see this, so go daily again. Like, yeah, if you I don't know if this is gonna hard reverse here down to 22,750, but you got to think if it does, like crypto's going to those areas where Chill had marked out, where it was like 59K, 58K,
little Goblin Town action.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost, I would even say you look at this relief we kind of had on the NASDAQ, and you got to ask yourself, like, why?
Pure sentiment driven. Nothing changed, right? It's not like supply and demand change or anything. It's not like interest rates went down. This is purely driven by tweets. And
I mean, it's easy to relate to. You can relate it to this dip on oil. Nothing changed. You got a tweet, and then when people figured out nothing actually, happened from this, you got a bunch of tweets, but then nothing manufactured. It just continues to go up and acts as like the final reset. Kind of feels the same way on NASDAQ. You got this nice relief from 22.5 or whatever, 22.7 all the way back up to 24. Really nice bounce. This happened on all major indexes. But nothing changed.
Now, like what I'm trying to figure out is like for my own personal portfolio, do you take some off the table here? Like, are we forced to manage risk a little closer?
I think so. Like, depends how you're looking at these. Like, I don't know. I tend to have a long-term outlook on indexes. Depending on what you're investing for, indexes obviously are much more safe.
No, I know, but it's like so this has been relatively strong against crypto. Crypto's gotten destroyed. Like it's gotten beaten down, but like
I think you don't take.
I want to say we're oversold. And Game just saw a Telegram notification from Game. I think he was more referring to Serve, but like, I don't know. Are we at max fear yet? Is what I'm.
I think we have a little bit of time to roll over. I mean, we were running so hot. So I don't think now's the time to sell, but I would say hold off on buying. Like I do think we probably roll over a good bit more. And you probably get a really good buying opportunity. So that's NASDAQ, S&P looks the same. Dow Jones looks pretty brutal. This is probably the bounce I would maybe look to short out of everything. But yeah, oil continues to go higher. Gold and silver kind of sitting in the same area, just a weird reactions from gold and silver. Let me look at energy real quick. A few energy stocks like Chevron and Exxon. Yeah, so ExxonMobil, of course, continuing to trek up. Look at that chart.
Wild.
And of course, this is why you have diversification in your portfolio, because like, yes, the market's doing really bad when you look at it overall, but if you have energy stocks and like a basket or ETF of energy like Chevron and Exxon, I mean, look at these over the last couple months. This is a monthly chart, just been ripping. $70 here. Yeah. So crazy stuff. Let's see. Tesla. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, no, I mean, this Tesla chart actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah,
Are
Tesla.
you a buyer here? So you hold some Tesla.
I do hold Tesla. I really got a lot of Tesla at this 141 mark back. When was this? 2023. I would say, yeah, I'm probably a small buyer at these levels, but I think this is something that that'll come with the market coming back. So I'm not buying too much. I'm averaging in, but really my major strike price is gonna be 260, 265 really and below. Just because I do like the mo Tesla's built. I like all the resourcing Elon has. He's tonned for SpaceX now, which is a $2 trillion company. So yeah, I really do like lower, but this is the first area I would start getting interested in for Tesla after straight up 4 months of down only from about $500 to 340. So it's starting to look in that territory of extreme interest. I mean, that's a dip. That's a 31% dip. If you're buying Tesla on a 31% dip and you're patient enough, I don't see you being down on it for much too long. But really, sub 260, sub 260 is a number. Robinhood, I still like, of course, it's software, so I think this continues to fall pretty quick. So that's why I got sub 50 targets on this. Circle, I'd like lower. I think everything kind of fits into the category of as the market continues to wind down, I'll look for entries, but not really super keen on getting stuff right now. But
Can we talk about a setup from yesterday? So Chill yesterday posted this serve call, and I think I've posted the wrong image there, guys, on the MCG Alpha account. So I apologize. But this was the chart from serve from yesterday, and I don't know if Dom, you can throw it open real quick on Dex there. But basically just saying, hey, look, looking for entry sub 15 down to like, I think he said 11 to 12 mil. And, Dom, if you have the chart available. Oh, sorry, buddy. Yeah, I'll do that.
I got it. Here it is.
Here you go. Here's your entries. So great call. This is why you follow the MCG Alpha account, because some of these trade ideas do set up really nicely. So what did this get down to?
This got all the way down to, it's at 12 million market cap right now. I mean, this was 9 or 10 down here. I can go by market cap here. We'll go by market cap. Yeah, so this got all the way down to about
12.
7 million market cap.
Yeah. Well, no, so off
recently.
that, yeah, so that was the pump, but yesterday it was at like 17. So we were talking about this on the chart. 19 mil is on this screenshot. So basically right at the top there of that green candle, and Chill said, hey, wait for this to get sub 15. And so that's exactly where it went, right on the bottom of that candle. So anyways, just good call.
Is just like, they've been doing a lot. You plug in their API and you have like a 300% cheaper and like multiple times faster model. Serve has a lot going for it. We have them coming on next week, so it'll be exciting to talk more about this, but they're really doing something cool. I just feel like you see models like this, sitting at 13 million market cap. There seems to be a bit of a discrepancy with on-chain tokens. So maybe just getting into like, why is a serve token valuable? Because the business model behind it seems to be very like feasible and reasonable. So I don't know, cool stuff there. Nonetheless, we got a couple minutes here till we got Collector Crypt on. So I'm gonna run through some tweets just in this regard and kind of just see what I'm looking at here. So a few things. Firstly, collectibles continue to be a breakout category in the RWA sector, with companies like Collector Crypto, which we're seeing on right now, or Collector Crypt, seeing new all-time highs in on-chain gross monthly revenue. I mean, look at this. This is gross monthly revenue, 64 million.
Jeez.
And that's on Blockworks. So maybe I pull it up, but yeah, we'll definitely want to talk about this. Of course, revenue and profit are very different. I'm assuming this is
because these RWA like collector tokens were hot like back last year, like October, I want to say, but
yeah. Here, and here's I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna reshare because Trader Main recently had a cold-blooded Schiller on, and he had something to say about just the market here, and so I'm gonna play it and let you guys watch this as a little bit of a lead up to this call here. But he says, and I'm gonna make sure I get this on the screen. Perfect. He said, Cold-Blooded Schiller says, the market mispriced these pre-2000 Pokemon cards, and that is exactly why he watches them. Cards that are pre-2000 quirky, look interesting, look cool. These are really, really good in terms of keeping an eye on. So I'll just play the clip here. And he was on Trader May's show the other day.
This is one of the more recognizable cards from this vending series. Cards like this, like cards that are pre-2000, quirky, look interesting, look cool. These are really, really good in terms of kind of, keeping an eye on, because the market typically misprices this. And these are some of the earliest examples of Pokemon.
I can't take this Pikachu serious.
Yeah, I mean, nonetheless, people are watching these, so I think the now is a great
That's
time
amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a Pikachu card like that. That is so cool.
Yeah, it does look really cool, actually. That's super collectible. Like I've never seen something like that. Nonetheless,
it's art.
It's been outperforming our crypto, and I'm trying to figure out why and how I can get some action on this. So Buddha, maybe you can tell us a little bit more. Welcome to the show. How are we pronounce it? Is this Bass Buddha, Base Buddha?
Base Buddha.
Base Buddha. Let's go. I love it. Base Buddha. It's got a nice ring to it. First question, why the heck are cards outperforming my crypto?
I mean, even if we look back, I feel like we're in a bit of a mania right now, but even, 2-3 years ago, Pokemon cards were a historic great place to park your cash, right? They've trended upwards since their release in the late 1990s, at least Pokemon has. And I mean, historically outperforming the S&P 500, that's not a topic that's just relevant this year, right? They've been doing that. Collectibles are one of the hottest growing markets over the last 30 years. And it's one part nostalgia and one part, which we're, kind of experiencing right now, a bit of mania and a bit of FOMO. You've got all these people that are being able to trade these cards at speeds like you have never been able to do before. Even just 10 years ago, if you wanted to grab a great card, you had to go to eBay, or you had to find that card in a private sale at a convention or something. We've brought these on chain. eBay's ripping really quickly. You've got other platforms like Whatnot. You've got the on-chain experience like Collector Crypt and many others that just allow price action to kind of find its demand in the market way quicker than you ever have been before. So we're definitely seeing a lot of the hype right now, but this sentiment of collectibles increasing in value is nothing new.
Yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked because I want to get into all this stuff later. But for the new listeners or people that are unfamiliar with yourself or was it Collector Crypt? Can you maybe tell us a bit about your background, and then we'll get into the business that you've been building that's been doing so phenomenal?
Yeah, I'd love to. My background, I guess, in crypto starts in 2013 when I was a broke college student and I could not afford to watch a UFC fight. So there was this guy on Reddit that, if you tipped him in Bitcoin, he'd let you into his live stream for $5. So I found out what Bitcoin was. Amazing. It paid for a semester of school back in 2014. The world's most expensive semester of school now, probably, at Bitcoin at 125. That semester of school was probably $3.5 million or something. It is what it is.
I have some old T-shirts like that too.
I stuck around for the ICO days. Tried to read every white paper I could in 2017, and really, I went to college for environmental science. I had a 10-year background in cartography and map making, 3D model making. And 2021 rolls around, and I hear about this metaverse idea, and I'm like, oh, this is my chance, right? Like I do this for a living. Let me get into the metaverse and fully immerse myself. And that led to my obsession in Web3 and just being on chain in general. I have previously started some of my own NFT projects, worked my way up to a marketing position at Magic Eden to really share my love of NFTs and collectibles. Nice. And we launched the go-to-market for Magic Eden's version of what PAX was in partnership with Collector Crypt over the summer of last year. And it's just, natural that I've transitioned to what my true passion was all along, which is Pokemon cards. And I've actually been at Collector Crypt now for all of 3 weeks, but I have been an avid supporter and enjoyer with our relationship at Magic Eden for about a year now.
Can I ask about the NFT crowd versus the collectible crowd? So I'm an OG NFT guy going back to Punks in 2017. And like kind of when 2021 rolled around, you know, Gary V's doing Punks, all the streamers were like buying them up, and then, you know, Bored Ape came along and all, you know, it just kind of took off. You know, people talked about like, oh, trading cards, like trading cards, trading cards are still there. But like the NFT crowd was like, no, it's digital collectibles because it's like fungible. I can stake it and loan against it, all this kind of stuff. But physical collectibles ended up being the winner here for the most part. 99% of NFTs other than Punks basically have gone to zero. What are your, like back then in the NFT boom when you're working with Magic Eden, did you always think physical over digital, or like what kind of was your frame of reference there? Did you always say, nah, the physical collectibles are just not as cool as my digital ape avatar?
I'm not dodging your question, I swear, but I really think like that phygital existence is Trump here, right? You know, I've got physical Pokemon cards that I love and adore and hang out with. Here's a Sabrina's Band Gengar. Just got this bad boy the other day.
Banger.
My more expensive cards, you know, I have 2 Pipples at home. I don't want a $1,600 Charizard anywhere near them. They're going to devour it into pieces. And you know, I really enjoy live music and stuff as well. And a lot of the concerts that I attend sell posters. And how great of an idea is assigning a QR code to this poster and being able to trade, you know, the art of that poster and the art of the actual physical thing can sit up on your wall. You can speculate about it online. There's a number of things that you can do to bring RWAs on chain. And I think, you know, while our apes might be down in the gutter at present moment, they really did prove one thing, which is that folks love to collect things. The speed of the internet helps you collect things and discover a price value for them a lot quicker than you could if they just remained physical. And I really think the thesis for RWAs, you know, NFTs crawled so RWAs could walk, if you will.
So then, based on your findings, like why are people today using Solana to collect trading cards rather than collecting the physical cards? You kind of just answered it a bit there, but like, what is the shift you're seeing?
You know, for the longest time, you got these cards at just conventions or at eBay, right? And you walk around a trading card expo, and if you're lucky, a dude's going to give you 70% on what your card is worth, right? You've had this card for years. It's gone up in value. You have to just immediately expect that you're going to eat 30% of your profits by going to a stinky neckbeard at a convention to buy your card from you. Conversely, if you want to set it on eBay, that has a number of problems as well. You know, eBay is a great platform to buy and trade things. I've found a couple of chase cards from eBay, but you know, as a seller, you're paying 10 to 15% in to eBay for every sale that you make, particularly if you run ads and all of that. Fraud is still very much a thing. It's rampant. You know, there's nefarious buyers just as much as there's nefarious sellers. If you're a seller, you sell a card to someone, eBay buyer protections are a lot stronger than eBay seller protections. So now all of a sudden, you've just shipped a $500 card to someone. They said it arrived damaged. They said it's not the card that they ordered. You know, they could be lying through their teeth, but eBay is going to default to protecting the buyer at least the first time that they make a claim, right? And conversely, if you're a buyer, you can get burned by a seller. You buy a card for $400. Jake Paul tweets about it on accident or something, and now it's an $800 card, and lo and behold, the seller had to cancel your order because they actually didn't have it. You know, there's a number of these cases where price fluctuations and all of this are leading people to chase profit instead of honoring their trades. So, you know, we've kind of flipped the script with that at Collector Crypt, and Solana allows us to boast these cards, prove that they're cert numbers. You know, every single card has a cert number. It's vaulted. It's tokenized. You can trade this instantly to anybody that you want on an agreed upon price of your choosing. So it really puts the power back in the buyer and the seller's hands to make a mutual deal with someone that is interested in what they're buying or selling. And we're not scraping all these fees off the top. You know, you go to Collector Crypt Marketplace, it's 2% either way, buyer, seller. You do that on eBay, like I said, it's 14 upwards percent sometimes. You go to a convention, it could be as high as 30% that, you know, you're going to lose on a sale. So I think just it's the least frictionless. It's the path of least resistance, and it also allows, for you to not get wrung out by this middleman that's, going to skim something off the top for every transaction.
Yeah, so maybe we should walk this back a little bit. Obviously, you said you've been here not too long, on the team. So maybe you're still figuring out everything. But like, what was the vision here in terms of, hey, we need to build like a virtual way to collect cards rather than the alternative and the thing we've been doing for years and years and years. Let's do something a little different. Like, what was that vision? What's the thinking from the team here in terms of where we're headed and why we decided to do this?
So that vision from our CEO of TWAM actually, its inception started around 2017 with CryptoKitties and punks, and there was a real RWA discussion back then as well about tokenizing houses and tokenizing concert tickets and the token contracts and the gas prices in 2017 just did not allow for you to trade a $40 card back and forth at a high speed on ETH. L2s didn't exist at the time. 2021 rolls around. Now you've got better token standards. Solana is having its heyday. Our founders were really participating in gobbling up Solana monkey business and geckos and everything else that Solana NFT system had to offer. And they're like, okay, now's the time. There were a number of vaulting partners at the time, like PWCC and PSA are actual Web2 storage places that have worked closely with eBay. For a number of years before this, you can vault your actual card. You can sell it on eBay. It doesn't have to move hands, right? That was its Web2 infrastructure. And our founders were like, okay, how can we take PWCC's model of this vaulting technology, bring this on chain and allow for an even faster and more transparent, transaction to take place here. So these guys started, we didn't just launch this gotcha machine, the marketplace, the platform all in one, right? It actually started as batches of 150 at a time, like mystery packs, right? So Collector Crypt would do a mint. There'd be 150 mystery packs. After the mint was done, they would unveil themselves, and now you've got your tokenized Pokemon card.
And did you guys create an alternative to PWCC and PSA?
So we actually use, I believe, 3 vaulting partners at the moment.
Okay.
PWCC, PSA, a third one that I'm not familiar with. But we are actually looking to internalize all of these processes as well,
right,
and produce our own vault with Web2 inspiration, but built for the Web3 future, the on-chain future of these assets.
What goes into these? Because I think people think it's like, oh, just a storage room with Pokemon cards and a filing in their plastic cases, and then there's a digital version of it. Like, are they scanned? Like, what's all the technology involved with vaulting?
Yeah, so as I had showed earlier, right, every card has a little barcode and a serial number. And you look up that serial number with your grading company, and it says, yes, hey, this Bulbasaur was a PSA 10. It does exist here. This is what it looks like. This is who owns it. This is where it came from. All of that stuff. So it's a little piece of data that we are using to verify the legitimacy that this card exists, right? So all of this inventory is taken to these vaults. They're scanned in. You get a nice high-resolution photo of the front and the back. And it's taken into our warehouse, which is a lot more than just a building, right? We're talking about $25 million in tokenized assets right now that Collector Crypt owns and operates. And, that takes some sophistication. There are a ton of people working at this vault day and night, working on inventory, correcting price, managing shipments, you name it. It really does take a village to make sure that, price action is being updated. Folks are getting their packs when they order them. And, most importantly, that the place is safe. The roof's not leaking. Your sealed collection isn't being dribbled on every couple of minutes by the rain. It's a pretty intense process. And when we can take all of that ownership in and manage, every single system in this vehicle here, it gives us a warm and fuzzy feeling at night.
Can you do me a favor? We love walking through like the economics of this business, and we want to understand how you guys turn margin dollars on this, and just how you've turned this into something so successful and big. We can see the meteoric rise of cards on chain, and like you guys have been smashing through. I think this is even old at this point. Newer charts look even better. But tell me a little bit about the economics behind this business and how you guys are generating and churning a profit here.
Yeah, so I think checking Blockworks last week, first of all, March was the best month we've ever had. The last 2 weeks, I think, were the best 2 weeks we've ever had. And a week ago, we had our 2 best days back to back that we've ever had.
Congratulations.
So we are seeing this rise. And, you know, again, the Pokemania, if you will, is picking up a little bit. But it really is proof to the signal that Collector Crypt is the absolute best place to engage in gacha on chain. And it proves that. We've got one of the highest revenues, but we're not rinsing our customers at all. We have about a 4 or 5% profit margin baked into here if you are to re-roll all of your cards. But for someone, you know, looking and maybe interested in participating, the actual expected value of all of our packs is positive. You know, if you were to spend $1,000 in the $50 pack and you kept every single one of those, you're going to end up with, you know, maybe $1,100 in packs or $1,050 in packs based on the EV at the time of participation. It's usually 5 to 10% on every single one of our gachas. You know, so that revenue that you're seeing here, yeah, we're taking, you know, between 4 and 5% of that, depending on the day, depending on the chances of cards that are being ripped. And, you know, the profit on revenue is one of the lowest in the industry. And that's why we've seen this meteoric rise in revenue is, again, because we're not rinsing our customers when they come here. We have the highest rate of cards kept on chain as well. So folks are coming to our gacha machines, they're participating, they're finding cards that they enjoy, and they're keeping them, they're having them sent to their house. And, you know, we really pride ourselves on being a place for collectors by collectors. You know, this isn't a casino in any sense of the imagination. We're not encouraging you to come over here and drop 50 grand chasing a $80,000 Charizard. That's not how this works on Collector Crypt.
Interesting. Can you walk me through the process then? Let's say I want to start collecting, or I am a collector and I want to start using your gacha machines. How does that actually work? Is this predominantly gacha? You have a marketplace I see as well. Can you walk everyone through like what is a gacha machine in the first place? But can you just tell us how this works as someone who maybe wants to get on here and start collecting themselves?
Of course. So a gacha machine is just a real resealed engine. It's a randomized little vending machine here that we've personified it to be. But there are price points here for everyone. I'm a $50 pack guy. You know, I know a lot of people that like the $250 pack, and we've got some high rollers in our Discord that love the $1,000 gacha machine just because of all of the crazy chase cards inside of it. I think there's a $35,000 Charizard hanging out in our $1,000 gacha machine right now. But, you know, the $50 gacha machine has a $5,000 Entei in it. So you can kind of pick what interests you at the time. We also offer One Piece and sports cards if you're into that sort of thing. But there's a trading card and a price point here really for everyone. And, you know, we're checking out the Elite Pack right now. The expected value of the Elite Pack looks to be $55.25. Again, so another positive EV. If you were to spend $1,000 on this thing, you know, you're going to end up with about a 10% profit if you kept every single one of those cards that you spun. So if you're a One Piece fan, we've seen, you know, One Piece just got to double digits in our revenue weekly. So about 10% of our revenue is coming from One Piece. We've seen a nice little bump in the attention for One Piece cards here recently. That machine is awesome as well. Again, I'm that $50 price pack guy. That's what's comfortable for me. But it really depends on the chase cards in these machines. Sometimes a $250 chase will have. I'm pretty big on my Gengars and my Bulbasaurs. So if there's a badass Gengar or Bulbasaur in another machine, I'm playing that.
What's a chase card?
So a chase card is a, you know, just a high value card you'd love to have.
Right. Okay.
You know, this Sabrina's Gengar, for example, that I was showing off earlier, I think is about $400 or $500. I would never buy that. I mean, I would, you know, but it's way cooler to get it out of a $50 gacha machine, which I did. So
right. So these are OG cards that are mixed into some sort of randomizer and then they spit out. It's not like you're getting brand new packs that you're opening and whatnot. Okay.
So there is a little bit of sealed in our gacha machines too. And every once in a while we will run just a sealed gacha machine event. So you can find your sealed booster boxes, your expeditions, some of the newer stuff. I actually got a Moltres Premium EX big booster bundle from an event that took place in November of last year. So we're always trying to keep people on their toes. We just released a Gotchopia machine, an homage to Pokopia. There's a Mew only machine right now. We like to keep it fresh with themes, and from time to time, we'll load up a machine with just Pikachus or just Gengars or something, and it's just a real quick timed event for people who are paying attention to go and take place in.
And so you mentioned something I found really, really interesting. You said this is actually plus EV, right? Mathematically, if you play enough, it'll actually be positive for you. How the heck do you guys achieve that? That doesn't even it doesn't make sense, right?
So when we're sourcing our cards, we're doing 7-figure deals at a time. That typically does not occur at market rate, right? We're getting a discount on the cards to begin with. Before they even go into the gotcha machine, our buyers are finding us deals and opportunities to procure high value cards, for a bit of a discount. So that goes into it. That's baked in. We get $100 card for maybe $85. We've got a 15% margin before it even goes in the machine, right? Additionally, the buyback on the cards is where that starts to be EV negative for the user. If you're just ripping and you're hunting one chase card and you're buying, selling back, buying, selling back, buying, selling back, the buyback, depending on the machine, is between 85% and 93%. So while the expected EV, if you kept every single card, it is positive. It is provably positive. If you were to sell those back every single time, depending on the machine, you would start to incur, the loss based on the buyback percentage.
Got you. I want to ask, why is this Pokemania, as you call it, popping off? I mean, we see Logan Paul's doing the big thing on his Courtyard platform where he's selling these cards, and it seems like everyone's kind of getting into it. But what's the reasoning behind this?
It's it's a multitude of things. It's almost chaos theory a little bit here, right? It's unpredictable from one day to the next. We're almost seeing newer cards for some reason have a way higher market value than vintage. And I'm a vintage guy. Most of the cards that I collect are from, 1999 to 2005. That was my childhood that I really enjoyed collecting. And I brought all my cards to school in my pocket, so they're not nice and pretty anymore. So I'm going after
no PSA
vintage.
10s.
No, there's definitely. In fact, I don't know if I can find. Let me see here. I can't find it. But anyways, just for fun, I graded my childhood Charizard. It got a 4. It was in my pocket on the bus every single day. I love that card.
Right.
But back to your point, I think we're seeing a lot of the very high value cards are seeing a meteoric rise. You were just looking at a Poncho Pikachu on the screen earlier. Those are going for about $20,000 right now. A Poncho Pikachu 2 years ago was $3,500. And it's a bit of a status symbol. It's a bit of people catching on and wanting to procure these highly sought after cards to further drive the speculation and drive profit. But you're not seeing that with every card. A lot of the vintage hasn't taken off yet. A lot of the cool special illustration rares from modern sets haven't taken off yet. You can hone in on an artist that sometimes drives the price. The right person will say the right thing about a specific artist. The next day it's viral. Everyone wants that card. So because we're able to procure these cards very quickly now, you're seeing the price action on some of these viral cards really rocket up in value. And, sometimes a card being worth money makes it worth more money because people think it's going to be worth more money, right? We've got the speculation aspect in here as well. And, what also didn't exist 3 years ago was platforms like Collector Crypt, like Courtyard, like Fidgetals that are actively buying inventory in these high value asset classes to have these tantalizing cards on our platform. So it really is a storm of events that's leading to, why these cards are rising in value so much. But there's still a ton of room here to collect what you love, and that's what I do. Let me go find a PSA 9 Bulbasaur because I really like the art. Or a lot of these cool cards are relatively stable in value. You've got your Ponchos, you've got the old vending machine sets, you've got your Charizards, of course, your Expeditions. Gold Stars are really popping off right now as well. I I once got a 4 in your gotchas. No, I will never sell my Charizard. That was somebody else's 4.
Let's go. Yeah, that PSA 4 is worth more than PSA 10s in your eyes, I'm sure.
Yeah, that
Invaluable.
card's, somehow I managed to keep that for 25 years. That means the world to me.
Top Fumbler, this is the classic, like when you're trading in the schoolyard, you slip in a couple into the bundle that were no good and hope they didn't notice, No, I'm kidding.
Let's see. We typically wait till the end to do community queues, but we got a few loaded up. So I'm going to fire a few at you here mid-show, and maybe you can answer some. Okay. Crypto Jones says, how is a card withdrawn, and what sort of costs are implicated in doing so? Very straightforward question.
Yeah, so you can go onto your profile at any time for any cards that you've drawn, or maybe you've purchased them. They'll show up in your collection on Collector Crypt. You burn the NFT to claim your card, so it no longer exists on chain once you claim it. And how we're able to do that, the NFT goes over to inventory, you burn your card. I think it's maybe $8 to claim a card. Once that inventory is burned, it's sent out from one of our vaulting locations. We currently have 3 vaulting partners, and if you're here in stateside, it takes a week or 2 to get your card. If you're international, it can take 3 to 4 weeks right now, given our
situation.
The situation of our trade currently. The Gengar, for example, was at my doorstep in 2 weeks once I ordered it. I've had cards get to my doorstep in 5 days. I've had cards take about 3 weeks. We've noticed the PSA vault is a little bit slower right now. They're grading something like 80,000 cards a day somehow. Their vault is massive. Their lag times are tremendous. And that's one of the reasons that we're looking to kind of own this vaulting and shipping process as well, is to speed these things up. But for now, take a card you like. I think it's a $4 processing fee, $4 shipping fee. And if you bundle those cards, you save even more. And you can expect something to arrive on your doorstep pretty quickly after you claim that card.
And talk to me about those 2 features you said you're kind of looking to take in-house here. Is that value going to come from just saving money on the tail end of doing it all yourself, or are you going to be offering that to other people as well?
Yeah. If you look into the ecosystem, we actually have a number of partners right now that are keying into our inventory. So whether it's a partner buying shelf space to hold their own inventory, or it's us expanding our inventory to such a great amount that we're able to take on multiple partners. I mentioned Magic Eden in the beginning. They've got a great UI and a great platform. The entire backend and the entire inventory and the gotcha system, that's Collector Crypt technology. It's Collector Crypt inventory. So as we expand our own inventory, we're able to offer these services to a number of different people in a number of different chains. We've got Slab Cash. That's another one of our partners of ours, as well as Renee's that takes place on the BNB chain. So owning all the inventory and not paying the fees on the cards, and dealing with long lag times if PW or PSA is really bogged down, benefits us tremendously. We're able to get cards out faster. We're able to take on more inventory, and it's less cost for us because we're not paying a middleman.
Sweet. A few more questions from Top Fumbler, who seems to be an avid card collector or degen. I'm not sure what gambler maybe. He says, we need dynamic insured pricing on CC though. Doesn't make sense to have static value in this market. Can you just explain to everyone what that means and maybe thoughts?
Yeah, so dynamic pricing would refer to, I've built a web scraper in the past, right? That takes price charting and eBay, and it combines all the last recent sales and spits out a number. Why that's not the safest thing to do right now, particularly in the environment that we're in, is, you can get some spoof trades, first of all, on chain. But when we decide the pricing of cards, we pull from a number of different sources. So we are updating these cards at least weekly when they go through. And we're doing that in a manual process right now, I believe. So we're looking at all of the recent sales. We're looking at off-market, on-market, to determine the best fair value for that. Wholeheartedly agree that we should have something that's a more holistic approach or a quicker turnaround for these processes. Certainly in the works, as our marketplace V2 will be coming to fruition here in the next month or so.
And I'm gonna squeeze in one of my questions before we keep on with these community ones. But you mentioned One Piece is now doing 10% of the revenue on chain for the gotcha machine. That's incredible, especially considering it hasn't been around for super long in terms of your offerings. How are you guys looking at that success and thinking, okay, we got to open the market to this brand and these cards?
Yeah, it's like, what's the next runner going to be, right? One Piece really took off. Is Dragon Ball Z the next runner? Is I know Yu-Gi-Oh is doing a full art print now. They've got, for the first time ever, I think in Yu-Gi-Oh history, they've got cards with full art on the front of the cards, meaning the entire card is the art scene. I think a Blue Eyes White Dragon from a new set is fetching 5 figures just instantly. So that may be the next runner. We also have a lot of interest from Magic and folks that want to take in and trade Magic cards, but a lot of the interest on Magic isn't graded cards. Folks want, the raw cards that they can literally go in and play with, right? So we're staying on our heels. Like we are a very agile team that's opened a number of gotcha machines over the last year to meet demand and hype. We've actually got a machine launching here pretty soon in partnership with Azuki. The gotcha machine will be featuring their trading card game launch as well. So that's something you guys can look forward to. Our CEO is a giant Magic the Gathering buff. That was the first collection that he ever got into. So if he has his way, we may see some MTG gotcha machines in the near future as well. We want to pivot to demand. We've got our staples. We've got sports. We've got Pokemon. One Piece is based on the charts, quickly becoming a staple of ours as well. And we'd love to branch out and meet the demand and the excitement of our eco because, I collected Pokemon as a child. I also collected Yu-Gi-Oh when I got into 6th grade because, Pokemon was for babies and Yu-Gi-Oh was for adults, right?
Talking about the market structure here a little bit, back to Pokemon. I noticed that the manufacturer of Pokemon cards was opening a factory, a big expansion in North America, slated to be open 2027, 2028. I just want to know your thoughts. Like, do you think there's a supply and demand dynamic here where if Pokemon, the franchise says, oh, look at all this demand for our cards, we're just going to print new cards. Like, do they threaten kind of the market here, or how do you see the dynamic of supply and demand playing out in these markets like Pokemon cards?
Yeah, I have heard this news. I think it'll be,
and is this news or a rumor? It could be a rumor. I've just heard it before.
I think this is actually happening, and in their mind, it's going to allow them to get reprints out faster. So when a set's launched, we're in the mega evolution set right now. Phantasmal Flames and Ascended Heroes were really, really highly sought after. That may trigger a reprint. Previous collection for Scarlet and Violet, the Prismatic Evolutions, the EVs, were crazy, crazy highly sought after. So were Destined Rivals. We've seen a number of reprints from Prismatic Evolutions as well. But what we haven't seen is a record number of the chase cards. I think they call it Tragic Evolutions right now because you buy a ton of packs and you don't pull anything. So if Pokemon increases their numbers to meet a fan base that really wants to collect and wants to play the game, that's fine. I think they're wise and will know that the scarcity is what drives some of the real top of the pyramid speculation and buying. And I doubt that you're going to see, something like a Sumbreon just get printed into oblivion so much that people don't like it anymore.
Curious to ask you this. Who are you guys? Are you guys onboarding new participants? Is this mainly crypto bros you're onboarding, or is this like, hey, we now have actual card collectors who just love this stuff coming onto Solana now and trading our gotcha and trading on our marketplace?
So we have, again, I've referenced a number of buyers and stuff that we have that work for us. They go to these conventions, they procure cards. More and more people know Collector Crypt now. And so now it's our job to take our website and make it completely user-friendly, for your average crypto adjacent person. They may have $50 in Coinbase sitting somewhere, right? They may have just heard of Solana and Bitcoin and, want nothing to do with it, but they want to procure these cards in a faster and safer way. That is ramping up a ton. So, as I mentioned, it's our job now to make our website and the crypto rails on our website feel as frictionless as possible so we are able to onboard your average user that just wants to find the Dragonite they've been chasing for a couple of months and they haven't been able to find it, or they're constantly being outbid on eBay. We have a number of tools actually in our Discord that don't require you to interact with our platform at all. We've got a ton of tools that allow you to enter the Discord, interact with sniping tools on eBay to procure physicals as well. So yes, there's a number of things that we're looking to do to onboard your average user this year who may even have a negative sentiment of crypto.
And why was Solana the blockchain of choice to just power these rails?
L2s were in discussion in 2021 when our founders were first, finding a place to land. I think some conversations with Polygon were had and a couple of other L2s that, made the gas prices more enticing, right? But we landed on Solana after a few bad L2 discussions with BD teams. And, Solana was really where our founders were participating in the NFT marketplace the most. So it was one part passion, one part good dialogue with leadership teams at these foundations, and another part low cost, high speeds, low cost, easy transactions.
Totally aligned.
Before we get talking about the token a little bit, because I do want to get into that, and Dom, I'll make sure your questions get answered. There are some top fumbler product suggestions here if you're open to them. One is to have a tax form built directly into CC if that's possible. So just want to flag that. Number two, would be nice to have a metric to see how much volume we've generated on CC and have a leaderboard for it. I think that's a really great suggestion. I know is a leaderboard in points, but could also be nice to see in dollars. And lastly, could be interesting to have a cards basket similar to an index where we can simply buy shares on CC to hedge exposure to cards without having to understand TCGs. So just wanted to flag. I don't know if you want to comment on any one of those specifically.
I mean, for the leaderboard one, I'll talk on. Not your taxes or an ETF. We'll save that for another discussion.
You're not the tax guy?
I'm not the tax guy, but again, if you go to Discord, we've got a great community that's built these tools. I just found out yesterday I've spent $45,000 on Collector Crypt, at least on the volume that I've driven to the platform, right? Ask some other folks, it's 7 figures. I'm a casual as far as that volume's concerned. There is P&L tools in our Discord that you can look up very easily. But I want to touch on the leaderboard one because, I'm in full agreement with you. Points are kind of confusing right now, and ways to distinguish, why is this person in first and I'm in fifth? I think we use the gotcha machine kind of the same. So making points in the leaderboard a lot more clear is definitely one of my goals here as we ramp up marketing for normies. And I'd also love to just not have a wallet address displayed on our leaderboard as well. I'd like folks to be able to input a username when they log into our platform. So it's not, 32 digits on a leaderboard. It's Space Buddha. He's in, 900th place because he only spent $45,000 on our platform.
It's like having your bank account number on your public gaming profile. Silly. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to add some humanity to the leaderboard and in that aspect. So great recommendation.
So do us all a favor then. Explain the point system you guys have. Obviously, I'm reading this tweet here. It says points are on the way to all cards holders. 85 million points, strip points, roughly $42,000 in free packs were just distributed. That's a lot of free packs. Can you explain what points are, how they work in the ecosystem?
Yeah, and that all was just for a month of holding the cards token. By the way, $42,000 was distributed to the community for March. Which is significantly higher than a ton of other platforms and reward systems for token holdership. Points, when you boil it down, it's like a 1%, if you're using a credit card, it's a 1% cash back, if you will. So as you're trading on these machines, obviously you get more points if you participate in the $1,000 gotcha machine. You get 20 times more points on a $1,000 gotcha machine than you would on a $50 gotcha machine. And as these points rack up, you start to accumulate free packs. So, the more you rip, the more you spend on the platform. Every once in a while, you'll see your point meter circle around and boom, you've got a free pack. If you hold the cards token as well monthly, we are dropping points as a thank you to our cards holders and an incentive to participate on our platform and our ecosystem. So there's two ways to rack up points currently: rip some packs and generate them that way, or be a cards token holder.
And can we talk about cards a bit? What was the thinking there of launching a community token? Why have one? Are the fees like helping boost the company? Are there revenue dividends going to the holders? What is the thinking behind that?
So I'm not here really to talk too much on the cards token. I'd love for a CEO or something to do that. I can say that holders are receiving these cards tokens in this airdrop. It was a great way to have a dual reward membership for participating on our platform and participating in holding our token as well. So quarterly, when you engage in our gacha machine, you're getting a cards airdrop, and monthly, when you engage in holding our cards, you get a points airdrop. So it was just two complementary systems that were meant to strengthen the community and strengthen participation on our platform, and kind of a dual effort. A lot of our highest cards holders are also our biggest contributors on our platform to engaging in the gacha machine. So it really strengthened the community aspect of ripping on chain, and it was something that was supposed to be complementary. To ripping packs, you get cards; hold cards, you get to rip packs.
Checks out. Let's hear a little bit about what you guys are cooking up. What's next? What's on the roadmap for you guys, and what are you most excited for?
So I'm really most excited to come here in my new position and just pour gasoline on the fire that is Collector Crypt, man. These guys were proudly let the numbers speak for themselves for the longest time, and I still think that's a great marketing tactic, right? They are a formidable foe. We're sorry, what was that?
Yeah, they're speaking for themselves. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we are number 2 right now, just behind Courtyard in terms of volume and revenue on chain. I want to break into Web 2. I'm spooling up an Instagram account. We've got a live stream that we're doing every week that really engages the normal user, allows for social proof, allows for user demos. We can get a ton of short form content and clips out of this thing. So I'm most excited for Collector Crypt to just be everywhere, on every platform, doing a lot of live streams like this, being on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, just getting in as many people's faces as we possibly can. And in tandem with that, it's coming with this giant UI, UX overhaul on our entire platform. As I spoke previously, making the website a lot more user-friendly, making the marketplace and having more free liquidity to be able to exchange these cards, to search for the cards that you want, to put offers, counter offers into cards that you want, just allowing for a more robust marketplace. I think it's something that is definitely needed in this ecosystem. Gacha volume and revenue is one thing. Marketplace secondary sales is another thing that needs a lot of work. No marketplace has figured this out yet. And I think our team and our devs have a great, a keen eye for what buyers and sellers really want to see out of an on-chain marketplace. And we're building just that. And that'll be included in our UI rollout. And yeah, just making this platform a hell of a lot easier to use, and just frictionless and in front of everyone as possible is my plan for Q2.
Do you guys do any direct BD to big collectors and whatnot? I understand the consumer side, being on Instagram, doing streaming, etc. But clearly there's this dynamic where, if you have the Logan Paul live streaming the auction for his, Pikachu card, millions of people are going to see that. And if they're not seeing the thing live, they're getting clips and whatnot. How much of what CC does is reach out to collectors, say, hey, we have a great product here, good platform, upload your collection, can we help facilitate trades for you? I just want to hear your thoughts if you kind of white glove that for certain collectors.
So I've got 2 screens up right now, and the left screen is Telegram, and there is a customer client chat in Telegram here that's just flying all the time. We've got folks really working with folks that are doing 7 figures in sales monthly between our platform. We're procuring cards from collectors, and we're offering opportunities to folks that love procuring cards of their own to come and try out our platform. We've got a fantastic BD team here at Collector Crypt that is absolutely doing this white glove service that you just mentioned in the background for a lot of these higher volume traders, I guess is a good way to put it.
Okay, cool. And do they signal on the platform, hey, I'm looking for this thing, or do they DM their contact and be like, maybe Top Fumbler is a whale here? Like, should he be DMing someone on the platform being like, hey, I want to find this type of card, go help me find it?
If they're large, they're probably talking in Discord in our channel, so on the buy and sale. If they're quite large, they're calling Twam, our CEO, on his cell phone and saying, let's make a deal.
That's the access you want, baby.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Nice. I love it. My next question, I think maybe as we wrap here to respect your time, would be, you guys have some competitors, lots of people doing this. It seems like people are like chasing the wave. It's very, very popular. How do you guys stay ahead? How do you guys edge out everyone else and just become the go-to de facto when people talk about collecting digital cards and gotcha machines? How do you guys become the only de facto answer?
I mean, we've just got the best inventory out there. Everything I've been saying for the past, this is really truly built by collectors for collectors. Our entire procurement team lives and breathes this. They love it. They're buying cards they love and would want to own themselves. So that's one of it. The coolest cards are on Collector Crypt, full stop. And secondly, as I mentioned previously as well, the best EV is on Collector Crypt, full stop. Our 4 to 5% profit on our revenue is proof of that. The active user on most other platforms is going to these platforms and ripping 3 or 4 times, spending anywhere from $300 to $500 on a usual take, and that's good. If you're a new platform, you've got your users spending about $500 on your platform. Those are good initial numbers. I think we're closer to 4,000 or 5,000 is how much a normal user on our platform will go and spend in one session, and it's because the cards are the best, the EV is the best. We've got the largest swath of inventory, and we're constantly changing it up and keeping the platform fresh for users to not, feel stale every once in a while. It's like, shit, I just pulled this Electabuzz for the 5th time today. I'm sick of looking at this card. I'm going to go elsewhere. You don't run into that problem at Collector Crypt because there's, at any given time, 10 gotcha machines with different price points and just a huge swath of inventory of chase cards and regular cards to choose from.
That's quite a crazy statistic for the average user spending $4,000 to $5,000.
That's wild. That's a very valuable customer. My goodness.
Yeah, I guess that's a good kind of point, Josh. Very valuable customer. Obviously, you're spending money to acquire these customers, or is this all just natural word of mouth? I know you talked about going on Instagram and having all these clips, but do you have an idea on the cost to acquire these customers?
So a lot of these customers were acquired just, they're Solana maxis. They were on chain participating in the ecosystem and just found a common interest here. I can't tell you exactly what the cost of a lot of these legacy whales are. And shout out to the legacy whales in our Discord right now that, jab me every day. And, we love these guys, right? When we're doing ad campaigns and marketing and doing these Twitter spaces, and it's very rare you're going to get, a guy that's going to spend $4,000 to $5,000 every time they visit your platform. You're going to get the person that's more casual like me. I'm a casual enjoyer of this. In any given week, I'll rip the gotcha machine 5 or 6 times. They're both incredibly important customers, right? And to draw the distinction between the two, you need a lot more of one than you do need the other. But yeah, it's the diversity that really makes this thing keep going. So they're both valuable in my eyes. I would pay $500 to acquire you both. But obviously, yeah.
well, with that being said, I think let's do a little call to action. Where can people go to find you and participate in CC and try the gotcha machines and test their luck? And also, what should people be doing? I mean, you mentioned it is positive EV to do certain things. What should the listeners now be doing today to maybe find a couple good cards and get some good value for their money?
Honestly, man, collect what you love. Because when you collect what you love, you're not going to stare at it every day. You're not going to stare at the chart next to it every day. It's going to be something that you enjoy. And in 5 years' time, it's like, oh shit, it's tripled. Do I like it enough to keep it, or do I want to sell it? Versus, I just leveraged my car to buy this Poncho Pikachu, and now if it doesn't increase in 20% in value by January, I'm ruined. Like, don't do that. Some folks have a high stomach for risk tolerance, and you are doing that, and more power to you. But collect what you love. You can go into Discord. Really, is my call to action. There's a ton of tools. There's folks that are doing 7 figures a month for us are in Discord daily, chatting, buying cards, selling cards, giving us the alpha. It is just a huge collection of diverse minds, and these guys are goofballs, and I love them, but they're quite intelligent in this realm of TCG collecting. So get started there. Learn a couple of things from them. Check out some of the off-chain tools that we offer as well. And then when you're ready, go to collectorcrypt.com. Find a price point that works for you. It might be $25, it might be $250. And just engage and collect for cards that you enjoy. I've got a lunchbox right next to me. This thing is full of cards that I collect that I enjoy, right? There's not $12,000 cards in here. Maybe someday. But collect what you enjoy, and it doesn't feel like a task at all. You don't have to worry about the price point and the speculation. You don't have to worry if Logan Paul is going to come on tomorrow and talk about a rare shiny magic card or something.
It seems like the hedge against global geopolitical uncertainty is trading cards. So
Yeah,
I'm
yes.
glad to see that this is done well.
One of the best moves to hedge against
hey,
the bear was just to buy a shitload of Pokemon cards.
There
That is
we
not
go.
financial advice at all, but it just happened to be.
That's just the
case.
data. So
That's just the data.
It's just
dude,
the data.
Really nice to meet you, Base Buddha. Do you have a name other than Base Buddha? Did I miss it?
I do. The God-given name is Dakota.
Dakota. Very nice to meet you, Dakota.
Pleasure to meet you guys as well. I really appreciate the time that you spent here chatting with me.
It was a lot of fun. As someone who's not super familiar with this, best of luck to you guys. And it's inspired me a little bit to go in and test it out, especially when I hear plus EV. Hey, if I can have
Not Dom's generation, my generation for sure. Pokemon cards in the school courtyard. I'm a millennial.
Oh, yeah.
Dom's Gen Z out here. He's like playing Fortnite and stuff.
You made a bad trade on the schoolyard. Now your mom's gotta go to someone's house and get that card back for you. And we've all been there. Dom, if you're interested in just seeing what the platform looks like, every week we've got a live stream of our own, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. It's called Back in the Grass. We just started picking this back up again. It's a hell of a lot of fun. An hour and a half of just pack ripping, a bit of education, a bit of entertainment, and you'll get to see us demo the platform, rip all the packs. We rip $50 packs, $1,000 packs. We do a little bit of everything. So if you want to spectate before you get involved, check out the live stream tomorrow and get a little taste and see if you're interested.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, this was a great conversation, Dakota. We appreciate your time.
I appreciate you both. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thanks, Dakota.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, I like the plus EV part is what I like. Yeah. Obviously that's not if you're reselling it right there, but I don't know. It seems like CC's doing it. Like they're doing the things they need to be doing. They're taking care of customers, offering the best inventory. Cool conversation. Like not my wheelhouse, but
this
really
so I remember back when cards launched and it went wild. Like it hung around at $5 million for like a couple of days and then ripped to like $80 million. And it was kind of the beginning of the RWA collectible narrative. I would have loved to have heard that backstory. I don't think Dakota was the one to share that because he would defer to the founders on that. But if we can go to that chart like was the hottest thing on crypto during that time.
For those that are missing this here, this is a $22 million line at the top there. Collector Crypto CC recorded another weekly record with gacha packs opening, reaching 21.5 million last week.
Wild. 5% margins too. I think he said 5 to 6%.
Yeah. 4 to something like that. This was primarily driven by $1,000 Pokemon packs, 12 million contribution alongside refill. This is in a week? Another weekly record alongside refill of our Grail machine featuring high value slabs like the exclusive.
Yeah. Look at also the graph too. Like when they go from the 250 packs, those people just get up into the $1,000 packs. And then the $25 packs come online, but it's not cannibalizing anything. And it's just, doing well. So very interesting.
Yeah. Do those have, I need One Piece in there. One Piece 250. Okay. So that's, wow. Those did very well as well. You can see the darker blue on that graph here is One Piece. So this is One Piece.
Sports cards are tiny, but mostly Pokemon. Huh. Very fascinating.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, clearly the business model is working. It's incredible what we've come from, man, because it was like in 2020, I would say he went all the way back to 2017, but in 2020, we started getting this rise of NFTs. And frankly, I don't think anyone truly believed that the NFTs we had were the future of NFTs, where it was just digital PFPs. But there was certainly that feeling of, okay, wait a minute, we can.
No, I'm kidding.
But I mean, look, we all wanted to think it, and we all played the
Yeah.
game. We all pulled, spun the wheel. But the truth was, a
Spun the
lot of
wheel.
people, I think, got the notion that, there was this market that was going to be massive, and it was like, hey, NFTs to actually do practical things like NFTs for concert tickets, or like one day we'll have NFTs for our IDs, and maybe your car note will be an NFT, right? And so I think like we saw NFTs and the early inklings of them were not the final outcome, but it's really crazy to see something like this where, okay, there is a lot of value in having this online. You could call it an NFT, phygital, right? Physical and digital version of these cards. And they've seemed to nail it. Like people aren't scared of this like they were scared of NFTs. So I don't know. It's really cool. Really cool, I think. But happy to see them kind of crush. Definitely crush. So shout out them. Any last thoughts on this before we kind of move on? I got a few things to cover. And we'll
Throw
keep it
the
short.
chart open real quick.
True.
I mean, they're driving like crazy. 22 million. Oh yeah, great. Thank you for posting that. 22 million in volume. I mean, what is this market cap? 10 million. So FDV 77. Okay, understand there.
Yeah, unfortunately, couldn't get too much on token. Just because it just seemed like Buddha wasn't really like that wasn't really his thing. It's not. He's not the token guy.
It's not the token guy. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But interesting, 70 million, call it 80 million FDV when they just recorded 21.5 million weekly volume last week. Call it 4 or 5% revenue. All right. Should we do quick math on this real quick?
Yeah, let's do a little De Niro Dom moon math.
And
Plus,
this is just on-chain revenue.
You're
right?
getting a
They partners.
40K airdrop every month or something, right?
Month of March was, yeah. So, okay. Let's see. So they did was it call it 22 million? 22 million in volume last week. And then they're keeping 4%. So that's times
it's 4 to 5. Just use 5%. That's a easy number.
That's $1,100,000 in weekly revenue.
Yeah.
I hope my math is right there. Just taking 22 million multiplied by 0.05.
Now that's what he said their profit margin was. So I'm pretty sure that's in money that they make is $1 million. They're doing about 12 million.
No, that's a week. This is a week.
Oh, dude, that's a week. Oh shit. Okay.
That's a week. That was 22.5 here based on this chart. Yeah. Recorded yet another weekly record.
Oh my gosh, last week. Holy.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, of course. The revenue is 4 to 5% of volume. This is with a 5%. So call it $1 million. They're doing $1 million a week on a record day. So 4 weeks in a month, 12, 24, 36. Yeah, 36 million a year, right? 48. About 48 million a year from doing that quick math.
Whoa.
Right?
So okay. Their revenue is the 4 to 5%. Okay, yeah. Got it.
Oh. Revenue's 4 to 5%. Right. Then they have operating costs. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Thanks for that correction, Fumbler. Yeah. So revenue is 4 to 5%, call it about $1 million a week at these record numbers. And then from that, obviously there's plenty of expenses. So they have to dig into it, but still, I mean, very, very solid, revenue numbers.
So this is 20 million in volume. So they're clearing 80 million run rate per month in volume on the platform. That's crazy. Amazing. About 4 million in revenue. Yeah,
great. Not a bad business at all, dude. Got a bunch of cars, throw them in a gotcha and let people spin them and resell them to you for cheaper.
And you're doing something like generally that you're pretty passionate about. So
dude, I mean, I was about to say Buddha's living, I think, a lot of childhood kids' dreams, working for a friggin' Pokemon company where he gets to check out cars all day. Like, yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool. Nonetheless, that's a really interesting business. I would love to get to the bottom of the token because, you have a token sitting at 10 million circulating, 80 million fully diluted. How how the emission looks on the fully diluted. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how the breakup looks. Like, I don't really know anything on this. But interesting. I remember we got this crazy run back when it launched. So much mania. And look, what's interesting about this is, this is why you have to be so discretionary about what you're buying, right? Because we had this run up go from pretty much where these prices are now all the way up. I mean, look, it ran up 1400%, 14x to a pretty insane valuation. So, right, what's about 10x from this valuation? About $100 million, about maybe even a billion FTV, but closer to it. Where the fundamentals are now much better today when they were compared to where they were then when they launched. Like, again, I pull up this chart. This is early January 2025. Look at the revenue compared to today, right? 64 million gross revenue compared to back then. So, like, clearly there was a discrepancy of price to actual fundamentals, and now it's kind of flipping where fundamentals make a lot of sense, and we've been sideways here down for quite some time.
And if you guys remember that September, October time, the narrative shifted from this to then MetaDAO after this, which was then Avicii went crazy from that October to, into January. So it's just part of these like market rotations that this kind of got caught up in at that time. But I mean, interesting. If you're a fan, look, I think like, from a trading perspective, I don't know if I'm trading this specifically, but if you're a fan and you like the product and platform, I mean, Top Fumbler, tell us, do you have a position in this? I think
sounds like you're damn near a power user.
Yeah, it's a good spot to have a bit of a position, especially if you're getting part of that 42K free stimmy every month.
Yeah. So a lot of unanswered on the token side. But we got the business, I think, and economics down pretty well. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. You mentioned money kind of rotating to ICOs with MetaDAO. There is an ICO actually going live right now. I think a Coinbase ICO or a Coinbase backed platform. Where is it? Can I find this?
I was gonna say, please tell me you're not looking at a Coinbase ICO because that doesn't exist.
Yeah, here it is. Okay. So let's look into this because apparently it got some backlash. The second ICO on Coinbase since Monad, raising 1 million and 100 million FTV, which is like, that's not crazy. Now we know Monad's, I think, like hot right now. 100% unlocked at TGE. I like that. CT still FUDs. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything wrong there. What's the FUD? So I wanted to look into this with everyone here. The Blend ICO registrations are open, 1 million raised at 100 million FTV. So they're raising 1% of the FTV, fully unlocked at TGE. And I'll check out the sale. Everything, term, structure, mechanisms is laid out below. So timeline, ICO registration, open now, blah, blah, blah. How it works. The ICO runs via Sonar, Coinbase's on-chain token sale platform. Register for the sale and complete KYC. Commit USDC or USDT on Ethereum. Receive your allocation. In the event of oversubscription, all allocation will be distributed pro rata, right? And now we just checked the chart the other day. If you look at all ICOs, MetaDAO had been the only subset of ICOs really that were any bit profitable. Everything else being 80-90% down. So keep that in mind here. More on Blend. But they're launching 100 million FTV. Yeah, it's not super bad. Of course, I have no clue what they do. So more on Blend. We published a token disclosure reporting covering tokenomics, vesting schedule, blah, blah, blah. Legal disclaimer. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see what the heck they do. And actually, let's read the comments first because this guy said CT's not happy about it, and I want to know why. We urgently need something like this. Max bidding, congrats team. Okay, the Fair Scale team is talking about this.
Shout out Fair Scale.
Shout out Studhome.
No, that's Rishi. That's Rishi.
Oh, that's Rishi. Excuse me. You're right. Studhome's doing something similar, but a little different. Shout out Rishi. Good call. So yeah, I'm not seeing outrage. I haven't seen anyone talk about this on the timeline for the most part. Okay, so look, I don't know what that tweet was
It
talking
said
about.
something about an L2 team. If you go to the sale, does it say what they actually? There's got to be. Okay, here we go.
So yeah, they got 35K filled. Of course, we know how this goes. No one's gonna commit for the next 5 days and 18 hours, right? So we're launching blend here. And let me also, okay. Minimum commit 100, max commit 250K. 100% of TGE, 1% of total supply, 10 million tokens. It's a very small allocation. So I'm wondering if the outrage here is, okay, we're gonna raise $1 million for 1%, and basically the rest of the percent, or like the 40-50% that team's gonna be able to unlock on TGE, is just gonna be basically sold into the liquidity that these guys raise. I would assume that's the outrage here, but I gotta see, where are the tokenomics? 1% is not a big sale to the public, like, at all. Where are
Polychain
tokenomics?
It was back in the tweet. If you go back to the tweet, there was like 2 tweets on it. Yeah, here we go.
Okay. 0.7 for exchanges, 0.7 for airdrops, 0.8 for market makers, 1% ICO sale. Okay, so they have NFTs. NFT sale 1.7%, which is more than the ICO. I'm not sure how much they raised with that.
Yeah, but look at this. You have exchanges, airdrops, market makers. What is that?
Right.
That's like 2-3%. You know, the ICO sales, you're 2.5%. NFTs like 4-5. So it's like you're selling 1%, but you're diluted instantly, like to 5%.
Right. And then also, like, you got a foundation with 10%, team with 20%. So there's 30% for the team,
oh my
right?
Goodness.
This ecosystem.
This looks like the old ICOs of
yeah.
Go when is the vesting? Go down to the vesting on this.
Well, so if you even look right here, it looks like they don't even talk about vesting, but at the bottom it says initial unlock are this small subset right here. This
oh my goodness.
So I'm not sure how long these are cliffed invested for, but I mean, look, eco growth, what does this mean? They're just going to give 40% of supply over time back to the foundation and team who are contributing in the eco growth. It does. This is 40, 50, 60, 70% held by team, 22.5% held by investors, which we don't know what valuation they got in at or who the investors are per se. Not hating on Fluent, like, still no clue what they do, but this is kind of rough. For the circulating supply. Maybe I can see more info here. Okay, blend unlocks. So you got the initial unlock. Looks like there's a cliff here for about 1 year, Q1 2027, and then you got gradual unlocks into Q2 2029. So only 2 years. This is a pretty quick unlock for the total supply. Yeah, I don't love the tokenomics at all, and that probably adds to the statistic, if you ask me, being 80-90% down. Let's see, what is Fluent?
This will definitely get crimed, though. You guys know that, obviously.
Crimed in the opposite direction.
Yeah. So just to be clear, this crimed in one direction, but
the chain for reputation-based apps. Build your print. Cooking blend. So it's a reputation basically. It's a reputation-based blockchain. Looks like everything on the blockchain will have like reputations attached to it. I don't know if you need your own blockchain for this though. We've secured 50 million as the day one liquidity on Fluent mainnet, backed by liquidity partners including K3, Capital, and Yield Network. Yeah, I mean, look, it's got some pretty good buzz. I just don't know, like, the reputation stuff, I'm not fully sold on. Like, I think we are going to need reputation, but I don't know how much, like, I don't know the addressable market for it. I don't think it's that much, to be honest. I think it's just going to kind of happen. And
so they raised $1 million at 100 million FDV, but they have 50 million in secured day one liquidity. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what is that when okay, what is that liquidity doing? Can you click into that?
Yeah, I don't know if it gave us any more info.
So is this like a DeFi kind of like L2 that you're not anonymous on, basically. You have like some reputation on.
Yeah, I think they're building a chain for reputation-based stuff. So, like, think about Fairscale, right? Fairscale commented on this. I'm seeing a lot of these reputation people comment. I think it's like, look, you have a wallet, it's connected to the chain, everything you do is tied to reputation, and there's like verifiable reputations on all the apps that are built on this chain. So reputation-based chain, I think is how I'm understanding it here.
Okay.
Token behind Fluent is Blend.
I'm just reading
real quick. Gonna go to chat here.
So all EVM, SVM, or Solana Virtual Machine, and WASM, which I don't know what that is, smart contracts are automatically composable and conveniently accessible through one wallet. Okay, interesting. Okay.
I just unfortunately, hey, if it would love for it to do well. I have no like ill will towards them, but I don't think in this market you're getting away with 1% sale to the community, and then like 99% of supply for the most part going to everyone else. We'll see. We'll keep eyes on it. Had to report on it though. You see like the roll up commenting on it. Maybe I got to hear from Rishi. Maybe why is he bidding this? Why is a fair scale team so interested? Maybe they're trying to forge a relationship there. Okay. Top Fumbler did in reference to CC. Top Fumbler did the pre-sale for the coin, but sold my position on the way up. That sounds like a pretty damn good trade to me, bud. Well done on that. I mean,
all right, here we go. I have a little TLDR on this. You want to flip to mine real quick?
Yeah, 52. No idea what that's in reference to. CC presale wasn't even sold out. It was so under the radar back then. That's crazy. Hey, great trade, bud. Great trade.
Yeah, great trade, Top Fumbler, honestly. All right, so let's get back to this. So blended execution allows programs written for different virtual machines to work together within a unified execution environment. So this is basically the smart contract layer for Ethereum based machines. So like AVAX, Ethereum, Arbitrum, etc. And then SVMs, which is Solana virtual machines. Okay, smart contracts, programming language, and tools built for disparate VMs are the same blockchain state, allowing them to communicate seamless. So my understanding of VMs is they're kind of like execution layers on top of the underlying blockchain. And what this is allowing for is you to have, I guess, funds or positions across these different execution environments. So yeah, see you, Top Fumbler. Thanks for coming in with the questions on CC, by the way. Appreciate that. Okay. I think this is just to make basically it's like a wallet that sits on top of all this DeFi stuff. Maybe a layer 2 wallet.
I just don't know if any what's doing well outside of Solana, say Ethereum. I know AVAX has some volumes, but if you look at chain revenue, all these other chains, major multi-billion dollar chains are doing nothing a day, some less than $100 a day. It's really
I know they're self-vamping each other kind of thing right now, and then these guys are going to raise a little public round to get the token into people's hands. But I mean they have 50 million in liquidity on day one. I mean, that's still a pretty big number. So you'd think maybe this trades up at a fairly instant premium even. These things are some of these can trade higher for a while before any of that unlock kind of hits. So
you're right. But look at this. Maybe they do have people building on their thing. We see Fair Scale commenting on this. PNP made a comment. Make sure to participate in the Fluent XYZ ICO. We got something cooking on mainnet. So they have people building a new prediction market liquidity model, PAM, that's going to supercharge and graduate users created markets. as well as list some of the hottest markets quicker than the other order books. So like people are building on Fluent. Maybe I'm just not tapped in with big crypto. And I'm too much in the trenches because like I haven't really heard much about Fluent at all, or Blend, the token that's going to represent Fluent, but people are building on it apparently.
Interesting. I mean, this is a little more interesting than I first laughed at it. I'm leaning forward just a little bit more here. But I mean, I don't
I mean,
like
the ICO is pretty brutal. The allocation's pretty brutal. The pie chart is brutal.
Yeah. The pie chart is
maybe the concept and backers and people building on it are great, but like you don't want a foundation stone on your head all day. Get an Ethereum situation.
Well, yeah, I don't think they will, at least for the first 12 months. But
right. I don't know. I don't really know what to make of this.
Accounts based in the Netherlands, so maybe an EU team. Okay. Anyways, really interesting. Keep an eye on this. Do you want to participate? I don't know. I mean, it's not like MetaDAO where it's a whale game situation. Either is it first come first serve?
No, it's pro rata.
Pro rata. Oh, so it will be
whale
meta. Yeah, it will be a whale game for sure. Yeah, so that 30K in there is going to end up being like $3 for tokens.
Potentially. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
I don't know here, but on the note for fair scale, we had Crexa come on for our EZA demo day.
Look at that!
Stood out as one of our favorites. I think probably both Josh and myself's favorite project to come through. They do not have a token, but the first under collateralized agent loans on Solana going live soon on Crexa, powered by fair scale infrastructure. So, bro, what's so funny, dude? So it looks like you'll be using fair scale to allow for under collateralized agents loans. Our most comprehensive model yet, specifically for credit, with every transaction retaining and feeding the layer. Now this is so for something like now Crexa really does kind of need something like this. Like Crexa needs a KYC layer, if you will. Maybe not KYC is the right word, but what's the word Fluent's using?
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know about that, but it's a reputation. And so if you remember back to Crexa's, their model was they wanted to give like you mentioned, under collateralized loans. Part of that is they wanted to sit in front of the revenue model of whatever the agent was doing to recoup that investment. And yeah, interesting. Fair scale still in the game here, which we like. But let's watch this.
Okay.
I mean, like, I don't know if agent credit scores, that's what it was.
Let me turn this up. We can watch just briefly, get the gist.
You can just claim. So first,
okay, so it looks like here. There you go. That seems to be the fair scale part right there.
There you go. Yeah.
And obviously
no Crexa token. That was the thing. All right. Yeah, this is
you can getting
interesting.
Email in which
yeah, so all of this seems to be fair scale tech. And then to evaluate the if these agents should get credit, basically.
And then apart from
for loans. Okay. Yeah, and interesting. I don't know. I just saw that we're getting there. I'm keeping eyes on Crexa. I do think it's pretty interesting, but kind of worked out because Fairscale was talking about Fluent, which is kind of like that reputation blockchain. They're building reputation layers. Crexa is using like reputation layers. So maybe there's more credence to this whole reputation thing that I'm giving it. Something I want to talk about a little bit is the roll-up covered this. And we've had this theory now for a little while, but Tether is raising at 500 billion when they're making 13 billion in profit. Seems like both Andy and Robbie agree with what we're thinking. This is probably because Tether's looking to IPO soon. Yeah, they're probably preparing for a public launch. So let's watch this video and just kind of see what they think. It is 3 minutes. So I'm going to speed it up and we'll just get the general idea here.
Yeah, at 500 bill, Rob, is a cop or drop? from my conversations at these conferences, Tether doesn't need to raise. Look, Tether's already buying the random things on the street. Like they're investing in cattle in Argentina and land, soccer teams, things that are way outside their domain of expertise. Why does Tether need another? And they're making $13 billion in profit.
Yeah.
They're investing in everything under the sun. Why do they need a raise at a $500 billion valuation? And according to this tweet, they have zero plans to IPO. I don't think Tether needs to raise. I'm confused as to why they're putting this out.
When
there.
you saw them put the they took a step with KPMG to create an audit report.
Yep.
I think it's probably these go hand in hand. The audit hopefully comes first, then the raise. I imagine that the investors looking to invest this amount of capital at this valuation are certainly looking for an audit. But I think it's like a stamp of legitimacy and can very much, if they get the right backers, will increase their kind of dominance. Is how I think about it.
I think that's right.
That's right there.
Yeah.
If you pause that for a second, it's because there's capital that's chasing this, and if they don't raise that, someone else will, and they don't want that money.
What did Circle raise at? Do we know here?
They IPO'd at 30 billion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, if they're seeking a 500 billion valuation, like Tether is, if this had a tradable token, this would be up there at the very, very tippy top of coin market cap. I mean, here.
Well, they do have a tradable token. It's called USDT.
And it is right there at the literal tippy top, but it has no ties to the actual underlying business. It's a stablecoin, obviously.
Yeah, no, of course.
But market cap 184 billion, 120 million, 740. Yeah, I mean, either way, I think this is exactly what's happening. They're probably going to plan an IPO pretty soon, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But would you participate in would you buy Tether as an equity?
No.
I
own enough Galaxy Digital, so I'm fully committed to the crypto space at this point.
Oh, there you go.
But Galaxy's a group that would have money in it. I just get exposure from everything through that for the most part, somewhat.
Fair enough.
Remember, guys, the Circle Pain, everyone, Fairscale did get liquidated. But you know what's interesting about this is if they get that integrated, maybe the Stardot Fund token holders, they did the trade, but they missed out on the bigger prize. If Fairscale now says, well, now we'll just go VC route. We've tasted the poison. It doesn't taste good. We're going to go the VC route and just build a private company for a bit. I mean, the narrative's right. Like it's integrated. Credit scores for agents makes a lot of sense. They can get a few case studies in there. They'll do pretty well.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you saw this either. This is a clip of Thread Guy talking about this, sponsored by Polymarket, obviously. So you got to take this with a grain of salt. But you saw the rumors about Polymarket turning on the fee switch for their markets. Have you seen that at all or no?
No, but I like it.
Yeah, well, and I think even with 1% or 2% in out fees, people are still going to trade on Polymarket because they don't care about that stuff. But Thread Guy reacts to Polymarket making 13 million since turning on fees. Polymarket turned on fees last week, and it's now a top 4 crypto protocol by revenue, 2 million to Hyperliquid. To Hyperliquid's 2.4 million. Maybe the only thing that we can save crypto right now is Polymarket, the way things are looking right now. And, we know Polymarket has a points program. People are speculating that they might launch a token at some point. Last I heard, their raise was like 12 billion valuation. And it kind of goes to show if Polymarket's valuation is 12 billion, yet it instantly kind of starts tailing something like a Hyperliquid in terms of revenue and becomes a top revenue generator on chain. Kind of got to ask what a fair value is for a lot of the other things on chain. Now, Polymarket is a private company though, so it's
also, yeah. So I like it repricing hype actually. But I also like it that I think they were kind of arbitraging a little bit or, acquiring customers for free, let's say. Traders like low fees. And if you're giving away your product for free, it tracks liquidity. So maybe some of that liquidity goes to other markets. But yeah, play this if you want.
Sure.
This is crazy. Polymarket turned on some fees and cracked top 4 highest earning crypto projects. Disgusting. Actually disgusting. 2M to Hyperliquid's 2.4, Circle's 6.4. Maybe the only thing left that can save crypto is Polymarket, the way things are looking right now. Maybe the only thing left. This is crazy. Polymarket turned on some fees.
Yeah, I mean, Valid here. At the very end, it looks like you pull up the chart, which I want to cover. Okay, so it looks like you got Tether, 16.227 million 24-hour revenue, which we just covered. Circle, which we just covered, 6.64 million. Two stablecoin businesses are 1 and 2, and we're only growing. Man, get exposure to stablecoin. Get some exposure to stablecoins, that's for sure. There's Tether and Circle up there. Millions and millions in 24-hour revenue. But then really what we can talk about outside of that is Hyperliquid 2.4 and then Polymarket 2 million. So that's significant. That's significant. So we know Polymarket's at least a 12 billion valuation would be like the safe bet as of I think one of their last raises. What is Hype's valuation? Like here, jump over here and find Hyperliquid. So Hype is number 10, and this is trading at a market cap of 9 billion. And that's the FDV. That's fully diluted, I believe. So yeah. Okay, no. FDV is 35. Market cap is 9.35. So yeah, probably fair to say Hyperliquid should reprice a little bit, especially considering RWA is growing so much and on-chain trading is growing so much. It's crazy. Everything we just covered in those top revenue generating protocols, and I'll switch back over. Everything we just covered, Tether, Circle, Hyperliquid, Polymarket, are all in emerging markets. Like stablecoins are growing exponentially, RWAs and bringing assets on chain 24/7 or illiquid assets on chain 24/7, private assets on chain. Hyperliquid's kind of exploring that. 2.44 million. Polymarket, prediction markets, completely new concept, 2 million. These are all in growth sectors that are rapidly expanding and growing. So I don't even see any of these slowing down anytime soon in terms of revenue. So get exposure where you can. But yeah, probably reprice Hyperliquid off this news and probably see an IPO for Tether pretty soon. I think Circle's coming to a spot, where the equity seems like a pretty good bid. And then Polymarket, private company, but they do have a points program, so maybe airdrop. That's a little recap of all these top revenue generating protocols. I think they just keep going from here. So pretty crazy stuff on that note. I'll keep going with the Polymarket. Why not? Justin, Polymarket to launch 1-to-1 USDC backed crypto collateral token. I don't even know what this means. Is this just they're launching their own stablecoin? 1-to-1 USDC backed crypto collateral token.
That's a paid partnership too. Funny.
Yeah, I saw some other people. Yeah, it is funny. Like Polymarket's paying Watch Your Guru. Polymarket dominates Twitter, though. I will say that between their Polymarket account and their paid promos. I did realize that. But like, what the heck does that even mean? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't. I mean, they're just using, I think, stable coins.
Is it just a white label stablecoin?
They had another version of a stablecoin. I think it was like kind of like a color coin or like some private version, USDCE, which was like an experimental or like old legacy version of Circle's USDC, I believe. But yeah, collateral token. This is just some stablecoin.
I don't think we need another stablecoin, but it's
this is just an internal account thing. I don't think this is really important.
Wonder why they pay Watch Your Guru to post that, but whatever. Yeah. On prediction markets, Kalshi, of course, everyone's familiar with Kalshi, Polymarket's lead competitor. Fox News just partnered with Kalshi. So this is we talked about this the other day with Pop Punk on just like the direction of prediction markets and where we're going. And like one of the visions that we discussed was, okay, every single live event is probably going to have prediction markets attached to it just because people want a piece of the action. I mean, more proof of that right here.
Can we pull that chart up? The Pumpkin chart?
Sure.
I just want to get your take on it. All right. So maybe do we see another, with prediction market fees going on, all of a sudden these things start printing revenue. Like, is there a trade?
I hate to say this, tokens overvalued right now, I think. And that's not from a conversation level. That's just from like a fundamental. They raised $1 million. Yes, it was oversubscribed. So they probably go into a seed round here shortly at a significantly higher valuation, but they raised $1 million, assuming they sold 10% of the company. That's a $10 million valuation. Token's trading at 16 mil. And it's nearly 17 mil, and he couldn't really disclose much. if there's any equity tied to this token. Is it a network effect token? Is it both? So token trading at 17 mil. Glad it is. It's really nice to see the trenches have some life. But equity valuation probably a bit lower. Now, the seed round or Series A might be, 25, 30 million, but they need some numbers. Like they don't have any revenue yet. So lots of speculation. I think if you get a really good entry on this, probably worth a bid, just because people really want exposure to prediction markets who can't get exposure to Polymarket or Kalshi, and they want exposure to something that's not multi-billions of dollars, right? And so it's fair to think, okay, Pumpcade could be that exposure. It's highly risky, but I can still get an entry at sub 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars on a prediction market that's kind of pioneering the live streaming section and some of this stuff. Anything, on-chain prediction market that can be resolved all through verifiable things on chain. So I full transparency, I probably wouldn't be bidding this level. I think we had a great conversation with Pop Punk yesterday. And I think he was very insightful, frankly. Really enjoyed what he had to say. But from a pure fundamental standpoint, I can't really bid this in this market when everything else is doing so bad. This seems like not the thing I would be bidding.
What about if we go down the prediction market gamut on Solana here? So I don't know if PMX trades at all still, or if that's worth. Let's see how some of these old
PMX.
Oh, 3K in volume. Yeah.
No volume. It's
oh
yeah,
my
it's
goodness.
zeroed.
Yeah, that's zeroed.
Whatever happened to this?
I don't know.
This was such a shame. This was like, man, this was coming out during peak mania of prediction markets. Polymarket was popping out. Kalshi was popping off. Everyone wanted exposure on chain. The valuations kept soaring. Everyone was talking about it. It was in the ground, in these award shows. And then this is like supported by Meteora. It's like lots of people had money ready for liquidity pools. I remember MCG was ready to deploy capital into liquidity pools for them, along with a lot of other people. And like, they just dropped the ball.
Yeah, maybe like the math didn't work. I don't know. There's stuff that like cannot work in the like not the tokenomics, but it's like the underlying mechanism to get like, because they were trying to make the markets composable, do them on chain. It's just a hard problem. I think it's just a hard problem to solve, right? If it worked and it worked well, like it would have been great for Meteora, because if you think like how many markets are spun up for prediction markets, plus you have a yes/no token, even if you waived fees on that or like got them super low, that's such a good business.
I mean, dude, think about Meteora seeding liquidity for Kalshi and Polymarket and being able to take
be huge. But I just, maybe you can't do it on chain. Like maybe that's just the reality is like it's impossible.
Right? Well, but the thing is, Polymarket and Kalshi are on-chain businesses.
They're on-chain businesses because you move
Yeah.
tokens in there and you hold accounts, and they're almost like a crypto exchange. Doesn't mean the underlying mechanism. Like you think about how an AMM works, it's almost magical technology because you have to secure the liquidity. You can't let someone snag the liquidity out of the pools. So let's see. I came across what did Daddy Duster say?
I came across prediction market project last week that's cracking the multiple outcome problem rather than binary yes no. Like parlays or
Daddy Duster, share the alpha, buddy.
Share the alpha, but I do think I saw prediction markets have a couple different outcomes. Like I think Polymarkets, I remember we were watching like yeah, a lot of these show charts with different outcomes. So I'm confused on the wording here, but
yeah. What were some other ones? PNP. Let's see if anyone else is catching.
I mean, that's one we just covered. They're doing the fair scale thing.
Yeah.
Not this one.
I didn't see their chart though.
No, I'm not seeing it. Let me see if I can find it on Trojan. Let me see if I can pull that up. Bear with, and Duster, if you have that prediction market you're talking about, I guess we can check it out. PNP. All right, I got it pulled up.
Holy shit.
Let me hide all bubbles. Is this the token? Did it really launch and go straight up to 800K and just never come back?
Yeah,
days? Yeah.
this launched a long time ago.
110 days. 186K. I don't know. Haven't been following them enough to even have a comment on this, but yeah, I mean, look, all the prediction markets are cooked right now. So I would say, going back to the original question of would I bid Pumpcade? No. But that chart looks great. I mean, like, dude, shout out Pop Punk for going and raising $1 million and having a chart that's held up and is sitting at 17 mil in this market. I mean, bravo, dude. Bravo. And it's not like Kled raised at a $300 million valuation and it's sitting below this. So, like, that's what I'm saying. There's a bit of misaligned incentives. Kled raised at $300 million valuations. It's going to have network effects and equity on chain, and it's sitting at like 12 mil. Pumpgate has like no revenue yet. They raised one round probably at $10 million and trading at 60.8. So, I mean, there's not a lot of logic in the market is what I'm saying, and you got to just be smart with your trades. Like, if you're sitting in Pumpcade, I'm not trying to FUD bags here. Great conversation. Again, I'll reiterate. Great conversation. I think it's a cool product. But you got to be smart about buying and selling and understand like the levels in the market you're trading in. So
I gotta share one of mine because it's absolutely candling right now, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. The old Bean here just had put in a absolute beauty 1 minute candle.
What happened on that? No clue.
I don't know, and I haven't even done the research on X to know what's going on. But I think, and man, Deck Screener is absolutely lagging my screen. But I think they just like soaked a lot of supply up. I think everyone was pretty like consensus that the Ponzi is never going to run again kind of situation, and the revenue started to creep up. More money was on the grid yesterday than the day before. So I don't know. Someone aped into this just now, and I'm not gonna complain about it. So
there you go. We're moving. Good call.
Yeah, I don't know, Crypto Jones. If you had any Bean, I saw you talking about it, but maybe you don't. Anyways, to all the Bean holders, GG's so far.
GG's. We got to cover what Solana did because it's super cool. But actually, before we do this, let me talk about this, guys. A little blast from the past. You remember Giggles from the Believe days?
Yeah.
You do? Look at this, bro. 1KX. We're excited to share that 1KX led the pre-seed in Giggles, a new kind of social network where users can buy into videos early, participate in the upside as they spread. We think Giggles opens up compelling new design space at the intersection of social behavior, market design, and crypto native coordination. So there's the team. Big thanks to TechCrunch and Asil for the exclusive. But that was pretty crazy. Let's see what that means. Does that mean Giggles pumps? Probably not, if I had to guess. Oh, okay. Okay, it did, but is this right? 37K market cap? Oh my gosh. Is this really, is this right? They must have sold all their tokens here. Giggles was an OG Believe project, and I think half of their fees were paid on tokens. The team must have dumped or something here. Am I tripping? Is this? I mean, it pumped from 21K to 37K, but like, oh my gosh. That's the point of the market we're in right now. Today, we finalized announcing they raised 1.234 million in a pre-seed funding round led by 1KX. I mean, look, it's like a TikTok brain rot competitor raised 1.23 million led by 1KX. That's pretty crazy. Let's see.
Imagine they're like, and here's our Believe CA.
Right. Well, this was also an oversubscribed round, and that raised in 2025. So this is a couple months old at this point. About 400,000 users, largely across U.S. college campuses and high school, have now signed up. So, like, when this launched on Believe, bidding Giggles, like, you had a good thesis behind it. Clearly, they just oversubscribed a 1.3 something million round. Congratulations from Solana, Meteora, congratulations. What's up with the token, my boy? What's up with the token? Where is it? Where can I find it? Do we talk about it anymore? Is it
Search
nothing?
it
We got
on X. Wait. They're getting congratulations from like Meteor and stuff.
yeah, Meteora, Solana. I mean, like, yeah. So what's up with the token, my
Okay.
boy?
Yeah,
Do we
up
get
with the
VC
token?
money and forget about the token that raised you money originally, or right? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out.
So why would Meteor and Solana say GG's and then like the token just be nothing?
No, there's really nothing on this, bro.
I think so. They forgot about the token maxing on TBPN. That's funny.
Look at this. A 19-year-old raises 1.2 million for Giggles meme betting app. So okay. Giggles mixes short video aura points are soon Giggles. Okay, look at this.
Whoa. Okay. Whoa. All right, but not the Believe token. There's no way. There's no way.
Let's see. Giggles mixes short video and memes with prediction markets where users stake aura points or soon Giggles crypto on content going viral, rewarding early backers with views and remixes. So you could stake crypto to participate. The invite-only iOS beta and App Store chart 450,000 person waitlist, mostly from the US. Nice. Oversubscribed 1.23 million seed round led by 1KX. Okay, so maybe they mentioned the token in here. Let's see. We're watching it.
There's no volume. Imagine they just had the CA like in the background somewhere. Yeah, I don't know if there's volume for you though.
Oh yeah, there's no volume on your end?
Yeah, no.
Oh, bro. God, tell me this stuff, man. I can't.
I
can hear it on my end. Oh, okay. Sorry, I can hear you over the volume. Ironically. I'll just play it from here.
While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Okay, but who? So where are we seeing this Giggles token thing though? This is like this story summarizes a post. Grok makes mistakes. Okay, so is Grok making a mistake here? Giggles will make us all rich from doom scrolling. Imagine a doom scroller just casually finding a upcoming creator who then goes and becomes one of the most. Okay, I mean, like sweet, but like again, like we raise all this money from a token, and it's nowhere to be found on the profile. We haven't mentioned it at all. Like, will it get integrated in the platform? If so, when they've got 450K users lined up, maybe this is like at 37K. Not financial advice. Not saying to go bid, but if you do, go use Trojan at trojan.com/@MCG. But like, so what happens to the token at this point? Because do we have an opportunity here for a 37K token that's going to be integrated into a platform like this? If so, okay, maybe we have some like value accrual, but otherwise, I'm seeing nothing about it, bro. I'm seeing nothing about it.
Okay, so I did search the CA. Someone with a GMGN badge said, "Isn't this your CA?" Of course. They sunsetted the token back in December. Thank you, Chill. Let's see this. Today, the early Giggles meme coin originally launched with Believe app is being sunset. We have taken a holder snapshot and burned company held tokens. The company and app remain fully in operation. Oh my, wait, they did a snapshot in December 2025. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah. Interesting.
The early Giggles meme coin originally launched with Believe is being sunset. We have taken a holder snapshot and burned company held tokens. The company and app remain fully in. Okay, let's read the thread here. When we launched an early experiment token in May, it was among the first one to recognize the growing scene of new startups there. Felt introducing meme coin would be fun to kickstart the company, which it totally did. As the company has matured, it's become clear that our full focus needs to be on product development. Company held tokens have not been sold and have now been burnt. Many of you have been with us for a long time. You trust us with your capital and attention. That trust means everything, and it's why we are publicly announcing this sunset, but it's time to fully handle. We have taken a hold of our Snapchat. Thank you. Oh, look at this. Yeah, I'll give that a like, bro.
Oh, BRGN, no, Boss Whale. Oh, man.
RIP. We did talk about that rug pool, which we hated. We hated. Yeah, so this is wild to see. So they took a snapshot, but it's unclear what that snapshot will be used for. So yeah. RIP Giggles. This what do you even think about this? Like, it's great. They went and raised 1.23 million, and like they launched this token, raised $100,000 from a token. I don't know how much they raised from it really, but like assuming they raised a significant amount, this is back in the early days of Believe, and Giggles had some good traction, so people were bidding it. Like, I don't know. Did these guys get equity from the pre-seed round? Did you snapshot those accounts and say, hey, everyone that was believing early, we reserved 10% for you from the pre-seed round, and here you go. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. Either way, I digress, man. Let's talk about something I actually am a little more happy about. And I'm not happy for the Giggles team, bro. It's just like
this. By the way, Daddy Duster, I'll go snag this for the next token segment. Go ahead, Dom.
Yeah, just to cover something, man, really happy about this move by Solana Foundation. I'm going to read this tweet for you, but here's a little TLDR from On Tran. Solana Foundation is doubling down on ecosystem-wide protections. And so they just put out this tweet after this big, nearly $300 million hack that we saw on Drift. Super sad to see. Like, just gives you very low confidence in DeFi. It's why I don't do DeFi platforms. You can go and try to get 5% yield here, 10% yield here, and earn yield for years and months. But as soon as the thing goes under and takes all your money with it, it's like all that for nothing. You're actually P&L negative. So I just don't do DeFi for this reason. I sit on centralized exchanges and, sit in stable coins that are going to give you T-bill yields pretty much. And so Solana decided to implement something to kind of protect against this, or hopefully protect against this. So they're doubling down on ecosystem-wide protections. Stride is a hands-on security audits plus transparency public reports for every DeFi protocol. One thing the foundation's doing. Continuous 24/7 threat surveillance for any project greater than a 10 million TVL. So their big DeFi protocols, their leaders, are going to have 24/7 threat surveillance. Great. Absolutely great. Full formal verification funding for protocols over 100 million in TVL, and then Siren live network of elite security teams for incident response. So they're covering all the bases. Solana does not want DeFi to continue to get exploited on its chain, and it needs to stop this if it wants any meaningful dollars to come to DeFi. Like, how can you have $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, $10 million, serious money, the money that these DeFi protocols want to attract, and feel safe when everything is getting exploited every single week and month? It feels like you're just getting exploited. So really good on Solana Foundation for this. It needs to be done. I'm glad they took the initiative for the entire ecosystem. And so I'll just read their tweet. Solana was built for security. As the ecosystem scales, so does our investment in the tools, standards, and support. Today, that commitment deepens with a new security program, active monitoring, formal verification for top protocols, and a new crisis response network. Learn more. And so I'm going to read a bit about this. Stride, a comprehensive security program for all Solana DeFi, includes hands-on evaluation and a public repository for findings, 24/7 active thread monitoring for protocols above 10 million TVL. That's pretty cool. Siren, a dedicated network of security firms for real-time crisis response. This is hopefully important for like freezing assets. We saw there was 6 hours where the North Korean hackers were taking the $300 million from Solana, offloading it onto Ethereum, and bridging it. If they have real-time crisis response teams ready to go, hopefully they can stop that and freeze that money. Formal verification for protocols above 100 million TVL. So all good stuff, man. They're taking a couple different approaches on this, but this is exactly what you want to see from someone like a foundation. Like this is exactly what you want to see. Protect the ecosystem at all costs, and they're doing that. RWA is getting massive. It's scaling so fast and growing so fast. There's no room for these kind of exploits. You can't have it if you want to be considered a serious business. So big ups to Solana on this. Very necessary. That's my list of stuff I wanted to cover today. I'm pretty much good, Josh. So if you have anything you want to cover, let's do it.
Yeah, Daddy Duster, can you make sure can you keep this on our profile or on our radar in future streams? This seems a little early. I just checked out their website and prediction market platform. It is it's very early. The ticker is Riverboat. Riverboat Gambler is the project. Token was created a month ago. It's like 170K. It was out of the Pump Fund hackathon or something like that, Build in Public hackathon. But I mean, it's a little early right now. Little early, I think, for this project. There's like a handful of markets. Some of them are way out of the date, and I don't think anyone's really using this just yet. But if it starts picking up, let us know, Daddy Duster. Appreciate you. Anything? I mean, the only let me just check. There were some, I believe, some calls. So we covered Serve was in that buy zone. That Chill called out. Bean obviously has been on my radar. Well, I own it and it's doing really well, like the candle. The other one Chill talked about that it might pull back is What the Dog Doing. It's now at 4 million. So if you don't have that, look at that. GSD. I will call out GSD because I did see it. Decentralized and Die had GSD on his in his TG saying that he was building something with GSD and it was working really well. Man, this chart has held 1 million beautifully for a long time. I don't know if there's like, I mean, I would say the time-based capitulations happened already. Anyone holding this is pretty, pretty diamond-handed. But
moreover, man, Dupe's been holding up really well.
Yeah, look at Dupe. Wow.
I mean, we'll call it, I guess, for at this point, 233 days, 250 days we've held up in this range. No volume, but no sellers. And I've told you guys, like, I'll probably just continue selling this if we keep pushing up, considering the market's just terrible. But can't believe this. It's crazy. What has not held up well? Actually, look, we got flipped. 10.6 million. Oh, Cled is 10.9 million. But Cled is hitting that golden box buy zone that I told you guys I was paying attention to. So just waiting the release of the equity that he's bringing on chain, the flywheel that he's got for Cled, some of that stuff. But frankly, I'll let Chill come on here and give you a bunch of token breakdowns.
Yeah, you're not trading much these days, eh? Anything that you are looking at, like?
No, hell no. Meteora.
Yeah,
Meteora is at 70 mil. I just think that's a pretty easy, like 10x when the market turns around. Just waiting on the market. It's negative EV to trade. Like my money's doing better sitting in stable coins denoted in T-bills and earning 3, 4, 5% yield.
Ave, what's up? Orgo, man, pop that open. How's Orgo doing?
Yeah, we are trying to get Spencer on. I think he maybe is booked. I'm not sure. But yeah, hit 500K. He's got to come on here and tell people what's up, bro. I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell you guys. I was very, very vocal about selling most of my Orgo up here, and not a flex, but I don't know what he's doing. He's got to come on here and tell people what's up. So
yeah,
promising product, but
yeah, Chill. Anything? I don't know, Chill, if you could throw some tickers that you were looking at. There was Keef. I thought that was on your radar, 150. I don't think that's done really anything. Let me see the Chill TRD Telegram. Let's see. And like, what is there on Solana right now? Spawn.
Well,
Let's
well,
pull
there's
Spawn.
I'll do Spawn. I'll do Ether after that.
Oh, Ether. Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh.
So Spawn's
and then,
doing well.
Sorry, one other one, that Crypto Jones foreskin. We got to do that just for Crypto Jones.
Okay, he's been printing on the DLMM. Okay, happy to
Alright.
hear that. Okay, so here's
This
Spawn.
Spawn chart looks good.
Spawn chart looks great. Agent economy. We know the vibes. Create your own agent that trades for you. Chill's been vocal about this. Spawn an agent, let it trade, watch it evolve and reproduce, makes passive income. Like, again, I don't know. I haven't been following close enough to give you guys updates on it. So gonna leave that for Chill. But the chart looks fantastic. We covered this a while ago and we were checking the P&L, and it was like underwater, I think, right? For the agents trading. So wonder if that's kind of started
But
to.
this is done well because we've talked about this for at least a week, if not more.
Yes, done very well. So good looking chart, pretty low volume, but that's just the nature of the trenches. Sock Either, again, this is Either is a platform to build stuff on. You can build, it sounds like natural language prompting to build apps and software. I know they're doing the hackathon. I know a lot of people are building on this, but I'm not sold on it. I've seen it done so many times and just never been a huge success. And why would someone use this over Claude? Maybe I just need to get into the technicals more and understand it and use it myself. But 12 million, I think it's very heavily backed. That's the only thing I would say. Heavily backed, well connected. So maybe worthwhile watching there. Charts pretty much gone straight up in these first couple. I mean, was that a couple days? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. I'm wondering who got all these entries. I feel like retail is up here buying. And I'm not sure fresh wallets are holding down here, I think is what I remember hearing from Jones, Crypto Jones. So just got to investigate on chain. I think investigate probably more. Not completely sold in either. I hate to say it, but not completely sold, not in this market. Okay, Spawn agent's been printing. We'll update when I'm back. Sweet. We'll look forward to it, Chill. We'll look forward to it. Oh, that was Keith. Oh, okay. So
no, yeah, we did. Okay, yeah, Spawn, I think we were talking about for a while, but I do know Keith.
Keith was like a traded, yeah. Okay, Keith was trading in the negative. I guess Spawn, you can spin up your own agent, and these are more individual agents. So
yes, okay, I see what your Chill's saying. Yeah, Keith was in the negative. Maybe for the posterity purposes, let's do one last Keith check-in on the website.
Sure.
Let's see. We'll give Keith one more shot here.
Oh, wow. And so this
chart.
is kind of, okay, it's kind of down bad.
Yeah.
Because if we looked at this and, sorry, we're getting YouTube API issues here on the top. So yeah, Keith has a 30% win rate. Yeah, but yes, negative. So, I mean, why would you want to use an agent that just can't trade, right?
Yeah, if I can't trade, why should I use an agent that can't trade? Also, that's no, better markets ahead of us, guys, where there's a flood of retail capital and anything you buy goes up. We're going to that. You don't need your agent for that market. But yeah, Keith, I'm just gonna do a quick check in here to see if Keith is positive or if this is just a take.
This is more interesting than Keith. Right here, this chart.
What's this?
The hype chart.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, go for it. If I don't see anything, yeah.
No, nothing to really note on this. I remember you're looking for that mid-30s area. It hit really nicely. I was looking for lower 30s in correlation with revenue dropping. Revenue just hasn't been dropping at all. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Down bad.
Nothing on chain is being represented well in terms of like the actual value it drives. So just waiting for that to turn around, and then you'll be able to hopefully find some good prices. Bitcoin holding well so far with Trump crashing out. Dude, Trump is crashing out.
Yeah. I think he's lost the plot at this point.
He's lost the plot, dude. He's crashing out. Some crazy tweets coming from his end. Hawkfly, get them on. Yeah, I have seen them. I actually reached out to them. They haven't responded to me for some reason.
Any other tickers, guys, out there that we should be looking at?
Yeah, let us know. We're about to hop. So any last minute tickers, but Bitcoin's still in that interesting area. You're right, holding up really well. We've seen a lot of turbulence in this time since it's kind of post this capitulation here where someone must have went under. February 26th. Now it's April. So, I mean, this has been 60 days. We've held up really nicely. I've told you guys, I like Bitcoin in this range. It's like, this is a DCA. If you get chill once like sub 60, not convinced we go there. Though also not convinced this has been a very meaningful accumulation, like super ugly. But yeah, great DCAs nonetheless. MetaDAO, Eco been quiet. Yeah, MetaDAO, Eco been quiet, but I will say the ownership guys are cooking. They're covering that whole Eco. For us, it's just not worth it. Not a lot to really cover over there. You're right. It's been super quiet. I know HawkFi is part of the MetaDAO Eco as well, as far as I'm aware. P2P though, there's been P2P launch. That was not quiet. We covered them. That was a great stream. I was very impressed with the P2P team, actually. Just a little disenchanted by the Twitter situation and them betting on their own markets and the team coming out and saying some interesting things that probably should be saying as a founder. But yeah, guys, I think on that note, we will call it there. Do we have an outro video set for today, Josh?
Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me of that.
You're welcome. It's nothing special, guys. It's normal outro video. We just gotta say. Could be fun by having the ownership pod guys on. Yeah, we'd probably just sit here and agree. To be honest, we'd probably just sit here and be like, "It's cool."
Yeah, they're good peeps. They're good peeps.
How
Okay,
is
here we
Circle stock
go.
looking? I can do this for you. Circle stock is looking okay. Last I checked. Here. Where is it? Where do I have Circle? Why am I struggling to find it? Here, I'll just search it. Yeah, Circle's looking okay, man. I think it's an interesting bid here, considering the stablecoin resurgent. If USDT IPOs, that'll be very interesting for Circle. If it IPOs a like significantly higher, that would be interesting. So
throw Galaxy open as well. GLXY.
Got you.
I will admit, I think Galaxy got hammered a little bit from the because the cost of energy went up. Obviously, you're building a 3 gigawatt data center. It's cost of energy is going to be high. But if you go on a daily, shorter time frame, and just zoom out, I mean, this looks like a decent area. And go look at some of the reports. This is a really good business still. Good crypto business. So Circle, I think Galaxy. What about Robinhood? How's Robinhood doing?
Robinhood, it's a software company, gonna keep going down. We covered that at the start. Sub 50. Oh, here's Circle up here. Yeah, Circle's pretty interesting here. I'm not gonna lie, Ave. Circle is pretty interesting here. It's just hard, like in this market, to really bid. You want to bid when everyone's fearful. Like, so don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying wait for everything to turn around and go bid, because you'll be too late. Yeah, Circle stock looking good for a long. I tend to agree. This is probably not a bad DCA. I need to go and look at some more fundamentals and then like valuation here. But I think generally, based on what we saw post IPO selling, big sell off, but like stablecoins are a huge emerging market, and Circle's really doing a good job. I think honestly leading that. Really is Circle leading that. So
yeah, you got like two narratives here. Like one is the actually three, I would say. So you have emerging markets. I think this is a growth story for emerging markets. And TradFi macro funds love that kind of stuff. Two is the percent yield on the treasuries. I mean, debt and treasuries in this uncertainty is going up. And then three is just the demand for stable coins in general from volatile assets. So it's kind of like three solid tailwinds for this that makes this look really interesting here.
And you guys all know our thesis on this. We're seeing QR payments pick up. I think most of these destable currencies we kind of collect into more one currency, and that's everyone just using like US dollars. And that's a QR code thesis that we're seeing pop up. And yeah, Circle is probably a pretty strong bet. I know Abe's been riding that one for a while. So, I think you're in the right right place for that. So
yeah. Cool, guys. Well, I think we're gonna we'll pick. I don't know what this means, if this is a ticker or whatnot. Oh man.
Yeah, gotta give us some more. Pick. I'm not too sure. Good pick,
All
maybe.
right.
I don't know. On that note, boys, we will catch you guys later. Maybe we'll check schedule real quick. I'll pop that up for us. So bear with me while I pull this up. 5, 4.
GG's. Appreciate you. We got a YouTube API warning, so hope your stream didn't have any issues there. StreamYard bugs sometimes.
Oh, but here's what we got for you guys. Tomorrow's gonna be a great stream, super Solana centric. We got Sunrise coming on. Sunrise has been notable. Oh, wrong
Yeah,
account, I
it's
forgot.
Sunrise DeFi one word. Unfortunately, when I put them in, it doesn't flag them as their old account. But then I corrected it, and so yeah, they put their own X handle in. But yeah.
Yep. So yeah, Wednesday we got a big day. Sunrise DeFi, and then Taylor Fox from Solana Foundation. Gonna be a really Solana centric call. I think the point of this is just, really going to get in Sunrise DeFi ear and just like, why are these projects, wanting to be tradable on, why are these layer 1s and layer 2s wanting to be tradable on Solana? And like, what's the value in that? We saw Sui recently at a liquidity pool by Sunrise, along with some other ones. So Sunrise is really, really interesting what they're doing there. Then we have, of course, Taylor from Solana Foundation talking about the direction he's seeing everything go there. He obviously was X Believe. They were doing a lot in terms of like, not private equity on chains, but like companies coming on chain. So seeing how he's doing that for Solana Foundation, like what that kind of ties into is interesting there. Thursday, I think we have Titan Exchange coming on. Really great exchange. Their numbers are amazing right now. They're beating out Jupiter. They're beating out MetaMask. They're beating out Photon or Phantom, excuse me. So Titan Exchange, really interesting conversation tomorrow, as well as Stable. If you guys remember, we had Stable on. They're doing mortgages on chain, which is very interesting. Lower market cap, but like fascinating things in terms of RWA done there. So again, that's another Solana centric day, just kind of showcasing what Solana is offering. And then Friday's our Trader Radio, led by Chill. So great week ahead, guys. And then next week to me is a banger as well. So we will catch you. Make sure you tune in. Hopefully we see all the faces here. Shout out Abe, shout out Crypto Jones. Obviously Chill, shout out my guy Duster as always. Top Fumbler is left the chat, but he was here earlier. So shout out to everyone. King's Mentality as always. Love y'all, boys. Oil ripping again. Rip. Yeah, let's hear. I'll close us off on that. I'm not sure it's gone up. Oh, okay, it hasn't gone up since the start when we covered it. So never mind.
But still ripping. Yeah. All right, guys. See you on the next one. We'll leave the oil chart. Is that if anyone owns land, Dom and I will start pumping the oil for you. That's we'll start the next oil company.
Let's go, baby. I'll get down there with a bucket and just start scooping it if I need to.
Yeah. See you, boys.